We have ourselves a good one tonight, folks. Live from Inglewood, California at SoFi Stadium, the Los Angeles Chargers are getting ready to gear up against the division rivals, the Denver Broncos. Things are gearing up here in SoCal. And I mean, it's going to be a fun one. The Chargers coming in with an 8-6 record, playoffs on the line, seeding on the line. If the Broncos manage to pull this one out, they're going to have a relatively easy stretch. They might just be able to clinch the playoffs just this week with a win over the Chargers. If they do win this one, they have absolutely no obligation to go out there and beat the Bengals or the Chiefs. Because ultimately for Denver, if you're coming into this one against the Chargers, this is a manageable game. You're going to want to win this one. Because if they don't, then they have to go up against two very good teams in the Bengals and the Chiefs to close out the year, and they're going to be forced to beat one of the two of them, and they don't want to get into that situation. They want to be nice and cozy here with the win against the Chargers. On the other side, the Chargers don't have as much to worry about, but after a troubling loss against Tampa Bay, anything seems like it could happen. They're on a 2-game losing streak coming into this one in a rivalry spot with the Broncos. They're looking to hopefully snag that 6th spot in the playoffs, same as Denver, but they might just slide down to the 7. And here's the thing. If the Chargers lose 2 of their final 3 games and the Dolphins win out, guess who's in the playoffs? These guys right over here, the Miami Dolphins, are in the playoffs. And that's how much this game matters if you're the Chargers. If you want to go ahead and lock up that spot nice and clean, all you have to do is win this one and then win one more against 2 of the NFL's worst teams. Because anything can happen in a rivalry game. We know that. We'll get to see that tonight. Anything can happen. They have the Raiders later. That's a rivalry game. Anything can happen. I mean, absolutely anything. Rivalry games are ridiculous. You never know what to expect. The Chargers are going to come in here. They're going to want to win. And the Broncos, they're coming in here with rookie quarterback Bo Nix. Of course, Bo Nix is having himself a year. I'm so happy that I've so far pretty fairly predicted his success. At the beginning of the year, I had him predicted as the sleeper quarterback pick of the NFL draft because everyone thought he was a little old, that he might get a slow start on the year. But no, I said I think his veteran presence is going to make his presence felt immediately for the Denver Broncos. I found him as quite the steal at the pick that they got him at. I think it was a fantastic pick. And so far, it's been showing, especially in recent weeks, the Broncos have gone on an offensive tear. They've won all 4 of their last 4 games. They defeated the Falcons 38-6. They went out in Las Vegas on a rivalry week, won 29-19. They won a thrilling Monday Night Football game against the Browns. 41-32 defense prevailed. And then last week, they won a major one to hopefully kick the Colts out of the playoffs for good in a 31-13 game. The Broncos have just been rolling. They've been taking down title contender all throughout the year. There's only been a couple teams who've been able to stop them so far. One of those teams has been the Los Angeles Chargers. They played earlier in the year. The Chargers won that one 23-16. It wasn't pretty from either side of the ball. We weren't seeing Bo Nix as Bo Nix yet. Bo Nix hadn't started to get his groove way back then. It only happened in that game after that, the game where they completely smoked the New Orleans Saints. We commentated on that one right here on the Exponential. You can go check that one out down in the VOD section. That was an interesting game. It was kind of a bad game, but Denver completely wiped the floor with the Saints. And then Bo Picks went from Bo Nix. He then proceeded to smoke the Panthers. Had a rough couple of outings against the Ravens and Chiefs, but that Chiefs game was a thriller. It showed that the Broncos could compete with the best up there. Then they went on a tear. They've been on an absolute tear. They've just been knocking at people's doors saying, knock, knock, open up. It's Denver's time. They went out there. 4 not very good teams, but 4 teams that are still very legitimate, very hard to beat. The Falcons, not an easy team to beat. The Colts, not an easy team to beat. Turns out the Browns weren't that easy of a team to beat either. And they've gone out there and they've showed teams what's up, and they have a real challenge here today against Los Angeles. And that brings me to today's pick. I've gone through everything, all the stats. The Chargers, they're on a 2-game losing streak. And, it's hard for me to say at SoCal, at night, the sun setting in Southern California, you never know. The Chargers are a thrilling team. They're fast-paced. Ladd McConkey has been a pleasant surprise for this Charger squad. Their running back unit needs a bit of work, but they have Justin Herbert at the helm. And with Herbert, anything can happen. But ultimately for this one comes down to defense. Justin Herbert, he's going to make too many mistakes. The Broncos, they are going to be with Patrick Surtain in this one. In a shock and turn, he decided, I am playing for this one, and that's going to make all the difference. I have Herbert throwing 2 interceptions in this one. I'm taking the Denver Broncos to win this one 28-24. The turnovers matter. Maybe Bo Nix does throw an interception somewhere along the way, but I don't see Denver losing this one. Give me the Broncos on the road, clinching the playoffs to break that 8-season streak of missing the playoffs. Whew, all right, nonstop, no breathing for like 5 minutes there. But the Broncos, they've just been so good. I just don't see how they lose this one. They're riding this momentum in there, no pun intended, but they're riding the momentum in. Denver's going to win this one against the Chargers. As a Dolphins fan, it's probably better for me to say the Chargers win this one, but I'm standing partial. I'm taking the Broncos. So I think the Broncos beat the Chargers this one. I think it's a real, I don't know what's happening. They just showed a shoe. I'm like, hey. But the Broncos, they're not missing. They're not to be without. I think they're showing Justin Herbert. Is that Herbert's ankle? I think it is. I think Herbert might have twisted his ankle in the last game, but I'm not entirely certain. You see Jim Harbaugh trying to pump up Justin Herbert ahead of the game. The coach for the 49ers on their way to the Super Bowl all those years ago in the infamous blackout Superdome, the blackout Super Bowl in the Superdome, which is now happening again, maybe without the blackout part. We do have a Super Bowl in the Superdome in New Orleans in February. That'll be a fun one. So what's at stake for this one? With the Broncos win or tie, they'll clinch their first playoff berth since 2015. They still have an 86% chance of making the playoffs with a loss. With the Chargers win, they have a 97% chance to make the playoffs and a 74% chance with a loss. So both of these teams clinch if the Dolphins lose this Sunday against San Francisco. If the Dolphins win, things might get a little choppy for the two teams as they start having I mean, they both fully control their own destiny. They just rather think things are under control for themselves. Will Lutz will kick this one away, and it'll go out of the back of the end zone. So the Broncos won the toss. They deferred. They'll give it back to the Chargers to open up. Justin Herbert takes the field here on Thursday Night Football. Justin Herbert so far this year has 64% completion percentage, 2,959 yards, and 16 touchdowns. He's only had 2 interceptions. He has been on an impressive mile marker. His only interceptions were in week 2 of the year and then last week against Tampa Bay. Bo Nix has had more struggles with that, but we'll get into that later. I formation start for the Chargers. The back is Gus Edwards. Edwards will take it up. He'll make one man miss. He'll get about 4 yards. See the Chargers donning their powder blue tops along with the bolt yellow pants, while the Broncos have decided to roll with the white jerseys and the navy blue. I'm rocking the navy blue as well. I already gave away my prediction just by what I was wearing. I mean, you can kind of tell, do that every week mostly, but I'm rocking with the Broncos in this one. 2nd and 6 coming up for the Chargers after a nice gain of 4 from Gus Edwards on first down. Herbert will throw a screen. It was not a lateral, but it was a screen to Gus Edwards. Get about 2 yards there, maybe 3, 3rd, and about 3, 4. I'm thinking it's 3rd and 3. Hello. Welcome. It's going to be a good one. I mean, so far we have an early 3rd and 3. Greg Roman, the offensive coordinator for this Chargers, familiar in a Baltimore-style offense is what I like to call it, because they just kind of run that way. I mean, they hand the ball off pretty constantly, although it doesn't seem to work very much, but occasionally it does. Herbert's under center. He'll shovel it, and that did not work. That was an atrocious play call. The Broncos blew that one up. There is a flag. That was just an awful play call. It was a shovel to Darius Davis. What were they thinking? And they're saying it's declined. Holding, offense, it's declined. That was ridiculously bad. A shovel pass on 3rd and 3. He started, to a wide receiver, he started 5 yards into the backfield. That was not a smart play if you're the Chargers offensive coordinator there. I mean, the Broncos were all over it. I mean, credit to the defense, but play calling could have been better on that one. Not smart. Great job just getting easy penetration in there through the offense. Slater just totally blew his block there. What's up? 4th and 6. J.K. Scott to punt it away. So the Chargers go a quick 3 and out. And that'll be fair. Caught at about the 27-yard line, 28-yard line. I'm going to give it to him at the 28, where Bo Nix will take his stand. Bo Nix this year. 64% completion percentage, 2,972 yards. Similarities between these two quarterbacks now. He's got 4 more touchdowns than Justin Herbert, shockingly. 20 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, which is 9 more interceptions. Early in the year, Bo Nix had gained a bit of a nickname. People started calling him Bo Picks because he started throwing so many interceptions. But I got to say, he's done a very nice job of cleaning up his act over these last few games. We have Audric Esteem is the back, number 23, 1st and 10. From the 28, Nix under center, handoff does go to Esteem, and a nice little push there gets him about 5 or 6. Good run by Audric Esteem. I would love to be right about that. But at the same time, I feel like performance-wise, like Bo Nix has been very constant. I've loved his play. He's been very mature. He's made good decisions for the most part. Early in the year, he kind of had a little rookie road bumps, but he's kind of turned it up in these last few weeks. And then as well, there's also the issue of Jaden Daniels, which is kind of the big one. Jaden Daniels is going to be right there hanging with him in the Rookie of the Year race. 2nd and 4, handoff to Audric Esteem again. Esteem plows forward for a gain of 5, and that'll go for a first down. Sorry, that was not Audric Esteem. That was 33, Javonte Williams. 23-33. Why did they do this to me? He hasn't been good lately, but ultimately it's just like kind of the mixture of performances between the two quarterbacks. And statistically, Jaden Daniels is the better quarterback between the two of them. I don't completely agree with it. I would love it if Bo Nix is there, but Jaden Daniels one spot above there in passing yards. He's a spot above Bo Nix. So, I mean, they're neck and neck. It's possible, but Jaden Daniels overall has just been more efficient in my opinion. Bo Nix hands it off to 19. I'm not sure who that is. Wow, they have a lot of running backs. It's Marvin Mims Jr., so that's the wide receiver. The passing touchdowns haven't been there for Jaden Daniels, but Jaden Daniels has done them all on the ground as well. He's a true dual threat. Bo Nix is not. So overall, and he's thrown way less interceptions. I mean, the Commanders, they're probably gonna make the playoffs. It's gonna be a very rare scenario that they don't make it in. The Broncos also chances are gonna make the playoffs. I mean, they're two very similar rookie quarterbacks, but very different at the same time. So Bo Nix is the better passer, but Jaden Daniels is the true dual threat quarterback between the two of them. I think ultimately comes down to Daniels. 2nd and 7 after the Marvin Mims run, and Nix will quickly slot it into Michael Burton, the fullback. I don't know, look over. I'm like, I don't know who that is. And that's 3rd and 2 coming up for the Broncos. So they got one first down. We'll see if they can get a second one. Justin Herbert, kind of looking like he's from the streets of California in there, letting his hair grow out a little. 3rd and 2, 11:15 to go here in the first quarter. They go for a huddle here. Bo Nix tries to orchestrate a first down. On the first drive of the day for the Broncos, the Chargers went clear 3 and out. Nix handoff to Javonte Williams. It's a good play call. He bursts through the seams for a nice gain on the run. Gets over the 40-yard line. Is my TV very off today? I can reset it. I'll reset it on the next commercial. Both definitely look better than Kale. Yeah. I mean, I'm seeing so many of the Caleb Williams before and after. Like before, he's like, yeah, I'm on the Bears. After playing for the Bears, he's just lying on the floor. It's a 15-yard run from Javonte Williams. I'll reset the TV on the next commercial break. Bo Nix under center. Marvin Mims in motion. Another running back in the backfield. He'll dump it off to Michael Burton on a fullback dump off, and it got about 16 yards. Okay, big man, that's not the right fullback. What? That's not Michael Burton. That's Nate Adkins, the tight end. They got a crazy amount of running backs and fullbacks. I didn't know that. 45's a different fullback than Burton. That's Adkins, Nate Adkins. Yeah, it was a good play by Nix. I mean, that's kind of the experience, an inexperienced quarterback would have thrown that away. He just wouldn't have seen him. Guy in your face. I mean, just to be able to be cool under pressure like that. Bo Nix hands it off. I think that's Audric Esteem, but who knows with all of these running backs they have. And that is Audric Esteem. Vikings I didn't really feel it. I mean, I just kind of they're kind of bland. I just don't like whiteout uniforms. Penn State's hits differently, but they're like it. I generally don't care for whiteout uniforms unless it's Penn State, just because the atmosphere goes with it so much cooler. Though I will say Minnesota did their best to advertise the whiteout because there was a decent amount of white jerseys in the crowd. Bo Nix handoff to number 25. That'll go for about 8 yards. It's Blake Watson. Who are these people? Yeah, I mean, I just don't like whiteouts. I mean, they have that clean look, but just in general, they're all right. Yeah, I mean, great block in there. on the Watson run. I mean, who are these people? I'm absolutely ready for the college football playoff to start tomorrow. I am too. The Cowboys wideouts are not good. I only like a few teams actual wideouts. Like, I feel like the Vikings don't have enough design to them. There's multiple flags on the play there. We'll see what the call is. No, they didn't call anything. Oh, yeah, they did. False start on Powers. Cowboys, whiteouts. I just don't like the design. Like, there's no intricate details for the whiteout. That's kind of my thing. Like, you don't really have it there. You don't have the design. 1st and 15 coming up for the Denver Broncos. You should stream a game. Maybe. We'll see. The thing is that because I'm in Europe, I don't have the proper resources to be able to see it on the big screen. Bo Nix, under pressure, he drops about 20 yards back before going for a simple dump off to Watson, who makes some magic happen, gets about 13 yards, and a flag at the end for a hard hit. I mean, I'll definitely talk about the college football playoffs a lot during these. We'll do recaps during the commercial break and stuff because I'm pumped for it. I'll be watching. I'm just not sure I can do. I'll be watching the Gamecast. I just don't have the proper resources or television rights to watch the games on the big screen, so I don't know how I'd be able to do this like efficiently. There would be ways to do it. It just wouldn't be as efficient. But we can definitely like discuss them, talk about them. I'll be watching them. I'll be watching highlights and stuff, but I'm not sure I can stream a college football game. So there was an unnecessary roughness penalty at the end of that one on Tony Jefferson. And I mean, big hit. That's head-to-head. Yeah, it's right in front of the referee. So Blake Watson will set him up at the 3-yard line. Those work. I like blackout uniforms because, like, the blackout uniforms, you can see the detail. Like TCU's blackout uniform. Oh, I've loved those for so long. I still do. And this handoff will go to Audric Esteem, and Audric Esteem will plow ahead for a Broncos touchdown. And Denver strikes first with a beautifully put together drive as Audric Esteem right end for a touchdown. Beautiful, beautiful job there by Denver, putting together a wonderful drive. Jim Harbaugh not too thrilled with how his defense performed on that one. Bo Nix, 3 of 3 for 31 yards. Javonte Williams, 2 carries, 21 yards, but all of the running backs were getting involved on that one. We saw Blake Watson, Javonte Williams, and, of course, Audric Esteem turning that one in there. Blake Watson, the rookie out of Memphis, he had a big role in that one, including that 22-yard play at the end of that one just before there. I mean, interesting. So the Broncos will quickly take a 7-0 lead here in Southern California as the Denver Broncos off to a fun start to this one. Audric Esteem and the running back units are getting into it here for Denver. Last two Saturday. Yeah, I mean, I'll be paying attention. During the commercial breaks, I will do recaps and stuff, predictions for them. I'll do predictions at the end of this one. Got plenty of time, so stick around during the commercials if you do want to hear me make my predictions for those. Quickly resetting the TV. Looks and sounds empty there. I guess it's LA. What do you expect? Just trying to swap to the Rams. I mean, the Rams have been very entertaining recently. Like, if I were opponents, I wouldn't want to face them in the playoffs. I wouldn't be terrified of them, but I wouldn't want to face them necessarily. Honestly, Texans and Chiefs, I'm kind of impartial on that game for once because it's honestly like Mahomes is injured. The Texans have been moving the ball really badly recently. Like, even against Miami, they didn't move the ball particularly well. Miami mostly shot themselves in the foot half the game. Tua just saying, here, you want the ball at the 10-yard line? I got you. It's almost like they paid him $50 to throw an inaccurate pass for the first time in his career. I know he's there, but he's still going to be playing like 50%. But like, it's kind of tough because like you got 50% Patrick Mahomes against an offense that hasn't been particularly flashy. So I think it could be a good game. I'm going to go out on a limb and say Houston just because like I have absolutely no reasoning for it. I think it's going to be a really close game. Both have even chance of winning, but I picked Houston. when I did my picks for the week, I picked Houston. So I'm not completely. I have no really idea what could happen in that game. Anything could happen. It's going to be a really good game for all the wrong reasons, but I am taking them. Oregon, Dan Fouts and Norm Van Brocklin. Yes, Marcus Mariota, Chris Miller. Are they doing college football stuff? What's going on here? Justin Herbert, Bo Nix. Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, all right. So quarterbacks from Oregon that have faced off. I mean, the Rams, when the Rams are healthy, they're dangerous. I've been saying it for a while. I love Kyron Williams. He's one of my favorite running backs in the league, if not my favorite running back in the league. He's just always ran with that sort of power. Like, it might be just because he was one of the because I drafted him on my fantasy team a couple years ago, but I loved Kyron Williams, his draft prospect. He was just so good coming into the draft. He looked really good. He was one of the few running backs where I was actually like, you know what? This guy's actually runs pretty hard. And he has run hard, and I think he's done a great job putting together that Rams offense, keeping it going. Like, he's been the source of their offense when everything else has been broken. And that's a great thing to do when you have a consistent running back like that, just going, passing game ain't working today. I'm just going to hand the ball off. And that's been really great for LA. So, and I mean, with Puka and Cooper there, it's just unstoppable in the passing game as well. He can throw to wherever he wants. He's got Kyron Williams. They're just very dangerous team in the playoffs. 30-yard line. Justin Herbert will go play action. Pressure coming. He'll dump it off to the fullback. Oh, the big man puts a man on skates and gets 10 yards. Oh, wow. That was a defensive tackle. Scott Matlock. Hey, he can play offense too. Wow. You know, that was pretty impressive. A defensive tackle putting some moves on the Broncos defender there. How about that guy? You know what, Scott Matlock? He is the second year at a Boise State. He was the 6th round pick, exactly pick number 200. Let's go, Scott Matlock. That guy deserved it. Justin Herbert, handoff to Gus Edwards. Edwards slips through a couple tackles, gets about 6 or 7 yards in the play. I'm going to give him 6. 6:40 to go here in the first quarter. There's quickly an injured Charger heading into the locker room here. That is May, the safety May. Is that the same May that I think it is? Is that a different May? Because I only know one safety name. Yeah, it is the right May. It's Marcus May. And Marcus May is heading into the locker room. Heavy blitz coming from Denver. Somehow escaping it. And still on his feet. A good run there from Kamani Vidal. And how about Kamani Vidal on that one? He has kind of been a breath of fresh air for the Chargers, if you will. Because, I mean, they needed some help after J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards went out with injury. And Kamani Vidal hasn't done a half-bad job. Rookie out of Troy. You know, he's not doing a terrible job running this running game, and he did a good job on that one, just slipping through the hole. And how about Matlock again? I mean, a nice block on Stranad there to make that room. That was a good job. Justin Herbert under center. It's back to being Edwards in the backfield. Handoff goes to Edwards. He'll get about 2 or 3 yards. See, that's the thing. I like Courtland Sutton. I always have liked Courtland Sutton. So there was 1 year that the Broncos were hot garbage. I mean, that's like a lot of the time. But I believe that was the last year of the Vic Fangio era of Denver, and their quarterback was like nobody. And I was watching a Broncos game, and Courtland Sutton caught 3 touchdown passes, even though their quarterback was errant. Like, he just like chucked balls and he somehow caught them. And I'm like, wow, that guy's really impressive. Who is he? And it's like Courtland Sutton. I'm like, I don't know who that is. And I mean, here he is still being a number 1 receiver. Justin Herbert throws to his right. It's Quentin Johnston who'll get about 5, rein up 3rd and 3. I think it was the year they kept beating the Chiefs. I think it was that year because I think they were playing the Chiefs, and I remember seeing Courtland Sutton caught like 3 touchdowns, and I was like, who is this guy? And it's like Courtland Sutton. I'm like, oh, he's pretty good. He catches a lot of stuff. He reminds me of Xavier Restrepo from Miami. That's kind of like who the Miami wideout who's been catching passes from Cam Ward basically all year. He's like, you just have to put it in his box. Oh, this is a free play, if I saw correctly. And he'll pretend it is one, and he'll throw in deep to Joshua Palmer at the 3-yard line. That was, in fact, a free play. The flag came in late, but I saw it. He just jumped. And it is offside. That is correct. Who's our referee for today? I forgot to shout out the ref. Clay Martin. We have Clay Martin and co. as our referees. Yeah, Joshua Palmer just came in on a classic slant, and Herbert wasn't afraid. He saw them jump. You could tell. He's got that Aaron Rodgers in him. But Xavier Restrepo from Miami, you just put it anywhere near his albatross-like wingspan, and he'll catch it. First and goal. Herbert under center. Edwards is the back. Broncos showing pressure, and they will hand it to Gus Edwards, who plows forward. He'll get about 2 yards. He's down at the inch marker. He's going to be down like right on the end zone. Justin Herbert has to fall forward here. Come on. I'm ready for some brotherly shove, but in Los Angeles, so I'm not sure what we call that. Patrick Surtain II is amazing too. He reminds me so much of his father. That guy was crazy. I mean, both Patrick Surtains just carrying on that star player legacy. He's done a fantastic job. Herbert, I formation, hand off to Gus Edwards. Gus Edwards is pushed ahead. He might be in. And we're waiting for the call. I thought he was in. And they're giving it to him. Touchdown, Gus Edwards. The Los Angeles Chargers are about to tie it up. 3:09 to go. And Los Angeles, Gus Edwards with a nice run. That little power push at the end there, I'm not sure who gave him the steam, but he was stuffed for a second there. And then a late push. Oh, no, it was just all Gus Edwards. Ooh, that's close. I do think he got it, but Matlock was the leading blocker there. How about Scott Matlock? I mean, wow. That defensive tackle has picked up like 4 incredible blocks and a 15-yard passing catch here on this one. I mean, fantastic. How about the big number 44, the defensive lineman, playing both sides of the ball? We got ourselves a Travis Hunter, but weighing 400 pounds. And the extra point is right down the middle, 7-7. The Chargers keeping it close here in LA as Denver will take the field for the second time. Out comes the rookie, Bo Nix. I mean, that was a pretty good drive. Herbert's 4 of 4 for 43 yards. Kamani Vidal only has 1 carry, but he's got 19 yards on that carry, and Joshua Palmer, the 1 reception. So both quarterbacks perfect so far on this one. We'll see if Bo Nix can keep it going on his side. This is what we signed up for. A good game between some divisional rivals, and it's turning out to be just that way, 7-7, 3:09. I do expect I expect there to be at least one score every quarter from both teams. I think it's going to be really tight. I think this game's going exactly as planned at the moment. Final score I had was 28-24, 27-24. So really I just expect touchdown, and then eventually both teams are going to kick a field goal, and one team's going to kick an extra one, or one team scores an extra touchdown. But that's just the kind of game this one's going to be. It's just going to be back and forth between the two of them. The Chargers are geared up for that one. College football playoffs is getting started up tomorrow night, and in a pretty exciting one. In my opinion, this one is the one that has the big chance of being the upset, because all of the rest of them are kind of like relatively straightforward. Like, it would be great if SMU manages to upset Penn State, but I don't think it's going to happen. Penn State's defense is really good. Drew Aller's just a very consistent quarterback. He doesn't make a ton of mistakes. I think Penn State's probably going to win that one. We'll get to that one a little later, though. Texas against Clemson. I mean, Clemson's a massive underdog coming into this one. It would be a miracle if they do. Tennessee, Ohio State. Tennessee might make it interesting just because they have the highest havoc rate in all of college football, but Will Howard is a fantastic quarterback against havoc. It just doesn't happen. It does happen to Quinshon Judkins quite a bit. Will Howard just doesn't take sacks very easily. He's a smart quarterback who can get things done, but it's that Ohio State defense that it comes down to. But this Indy Notre Dame game, it's the only game where it's kind of like the favorite might not actually be the favorite. We'll get into a little bit more of that on our next commercial break. Well, I'll determine why I think that maybe there's a good chance that Indiana might be able to upset Notre Dame. There's, I don't know what was happening on the screen there. We're just going to ignore that. I know, Nico Iamaleava. Here's a fun statistic. Not sure if you know this, but he has the worst quarterback rating out of any quarterback that has ever made the college football playoff. He had the worst quarterback rating out of anyone in the SEC and has the worst quarterback rating just in general. Like, he just has an awful total QBR. He's got a 70.4 is his average quarterback rating. It's the lowest out of anyone in the modern college football era that has actually made the college football playoff. I mean, he's made a ton of mistakes. As he saw in the SEC championship game, he just didn't. Wait, yeah. No, that's wrong. As he showed against Georgia, he just doesn't throw deep. He stopped throwing deep. At the beginning of the year, that was his source. It was like 61-yard touchdown, 70-yard touchdown, 80-yard touchdown. And then suddenly one team figured them out, and now he's lost that. Bo Nix will drop back to pass on this 1st and 10. Under pressure, will roll to his left before finding Javonte Williams, who's blown up on a nice tackle by Fulton. Fulton looked a little wobbly at the end of that one, but he seems all right. He's got an awful quarterback rating. 70.4 average is not good by any means. Once they shut down that deep ball, once one team beat Tennessee, you never saw it again. You just never saw that deep threat that Nico Iamaleava showed. His arm talent is there, but he just hasn't used it against tough teams because he knows that it's probably going to get intercepted. He just doesn't have that deep accuracy. He's got an arm, but he doesn't have the accuracy to go along with it. Play clock's at 5. Bo Nix pointing out the blitz. It's at 2. He'll get the snap off. The blitz is coming. He gets the throw off. He throws it too low there for Marvin. Nope. For Troy Franklin, his teammate at Oregon. It's just going to be me all day. He's like 16. Nope, that's not 16. That's 19. 3rd and 9. I mean, it's possible. We could have like that TCU Michigan semifinal game. That game was awesome. I loved watching it. Fantastic game. I mean, it could very well just end up like one of those. Neither defense is spectacular, and both quarterbacks have showed that they can duel out in a tough situation. Bo Nix steps up. He'll take it himself. Bo Nix takes off and slides like a veteran quarterback could. 1st down. Good job by Bo Nix. I mean, where was that linebacker looking? It almost looked like they had a quarterback spy on him for a second. And, I mean, they had him there, but he just doesn't see it. It was Derwin James. Derwin James just totally misses Bo Nix. And that's one of the few times where you'll see an all-pro safety just totally whiff. Like, that's the first time I've ever seen Derwin James just not move. Like, he just looked frozen in his tracks between going to cover the receiver and going after Nix, and he just ended up doing nothing. Handoff to Audric Esteem, a nice run for about 9. Audric Esteem is galloping ahead for 9 yards. Again, no pun intended, except that one was. I didn't intend my pun. Intend your puns. 2nd down. Bo Nix he's just putting the ball in his running back's hands. He's being really smart about it. He's just kind of like, here you go. He's doing a nice job of just trusting the running game, which they haven't done a whole lot of in the past because it hasn't been a great running back unit. But they're starting to trust in Audric Esteem a little more. Javonte Williams, they're just starting to believe that their running backs can make something happen. And so far, Audric Esteem has not disappointed. Neither has Javonte Williams. Marvin Mims in motion. Handoff goes to the 25, which was Watson. Blake Watson, I believe is his name. So Blake Watson gets about 3 yards. They have so many running backs. That's it's hard to keep track. Broncos have just had like they need, like, honestly, I'm not too certain the Broncos won't be in the running order to be drafting Ashton Jonty. It's very likely because they need a running back. Like, they got all these young guys with like hidden talent. We don't quite know how they're going to be yet. They're very good, but we're not sure if they're at that level. And Ashton Jonty, we already know that he's a great running back. They might be in the market for Jonty come the draft. Oh, and Bo Nix's pass swatted down. Someone be smart. Okay, there goes Javonte Williams being smart. I was like, just in case that was a lateral, someone go get that ball. So it was an attempted screen, but Khalil Mack showing off why he can, even at his old age, can be disruptive. He comes in and just swats it down. It almost looked like a lateral. That was good job by Javonte. Well, I'm like, scoop it up. Someone. No, Dallas needs him. True. I think it's between the two of them. I think Denver and Dallas both need him. Denver's found ways to make it work with their running back unit. Dallas less so. Because Denver's got a lot of talent. They just haven't been showing it really. 2nd and 10. Bo Nix will throw. And he'll throw to number 17, Devon Vele, on a nice little pickup. Get about 16 or 17. Not even 15, just to prove me wrong. And this will end the first quarter. 7-7. Bo Nix connecting with Devon Vele, 15 yards. Here come the Broncos, storming right on into Charger territory. That is way more orange than should be legal. That's insane. I just saw the stadium view. There's a ton of orange there. Like Denver kind of looks like they're owning SoFi Stadium. There's a lot of orange. I was not expecting that. But normally you can't really, even though you can't see the powder blue because the seats are powder blue, there's too much orange there for comfort. All right. So college football, you might be thinking, what are you talking about? How do you think that Indiana might be able to put up a fight against Notre Dame? Notre Dame's the clear favorite. Well, the thing is, I'm not so sure. There's a lot of people who are saying they're not buying Indiana's Cinderella run, but you never know. This is the first chance that there has to be a Cinderella in college football. There hasn't really been one. It's just kind of been the 4 teams, and all of them are favorites. These are 12 teams. Some of them are the underdog. We know which ones they are. Indiana, SMU, Clemson. Those teams are coming in as the underdogs, and then Arizona State. Those 4 teams are kind of the big 4 that have a chance to upset. And this one's the game that I really think they have a chance to win this one. Friday Night Lights at Notre Dame. It's the first time that we've ever seen a game be played in a college stadium, like a college football playoff being played in a college stadium that's not one that's at the professional level. So it'll be an interesting chance to see that. So Notre Dame obviously going to dominate that one. But Indiana just has a really great quarterback. That's kind of the key. Curtis Rourke was such a find by Curt Cignetti and this Indiana staff. Curtis Rourke's been fantastic. He comes in at an impressive 6'5". This guy's a basketball player height. He's huge. He's tall. He makes all the right throws. He's got impeccable accuracy. He's got a great completion percentage. He's been really, really fantastic. I'm trying to pull up fun statistics. You just got to see if technology can cooperate. Curtis Rourke. So, it really does come down to the blitz level, because one of the teams that blitz the most is Notre Dame. Notre Dame blitzes a lot. They have some really good defensive members on the team. They have Mikhail Kamara. Nope, that's on the other side. I can't read, guys. I can't read. But Curtis Rourke makes really great plays against the blitz. Either he gets you or he doesn't, because sometimes he throws more interceptions than any of the other 11 quarterbacks in this one. That is counting Carson Beck. And Carson Beck is potentially out for this one. Out for their game with a shoulder injury. But Curtis Rourke throws more interceptions against the blitz than any other quarterback. He also throws more touchdowns than any of them. He's got the highest success rate in the country against the blitz. In all of college football, when the blitz is coming, he drops dimes. Bo Nix looks to pass. He'll throw one in quick to Cortland Sutton for about a 5-yard gain. See what you're just thinking Arkansas. Does he want to come to Arkansas? No, you have your quarterback. You have your Taylon Green. Stop looking for everyone else. But Notre Dame, Riley Leonard has gotten off to some rough starts in some games. Against USC last week, Notre Dame by no means in their last game. Sorry, not last week. They didn't look all that. If I'm being honest, they didn't look amazing. They got off to a slow start. They allowed a lot of back and forth. Their defense wasn't playing well. Bo Nix rolls to his right under pressure from Boza, delivers a dime to Cortland Sutton to the 11-yard line. Oh, yeah. I mean, there's a chance. I mean, Georgia still has some solid options back there. They have Gunnar Stockton, but here's one that I think's been going under the radar is Jaden Rashada, that kid from Arizona State back when they were still in the Pac-12. Jaden Rashada can actually run the ball. Like he's a true dual threat quarterback. If they want to pair Gunnar Stockton with Jaden Rashada, it's not a bad idea. Got a passer, you got a runner. Bo Nix will start under center. I can't tell which 20 that is. It's Audric Esteem in the backfield. He makes a nice cut. He'll get about 7 yards, maybe more, 9. He's still running. He's down at the 2-yard line. Audric Esteem. That's what I'm saying. You know, Gunnar Stockton's accurate. He can make all the right throws. But when it comes down to it, Jaden Rashada is the true dual threat. He's going to get the ball a lot, just as a guy who can make those read options. I think they might try and incorporate him. They might try and change this playbook entirely. But Notre Dame's defense didn't look particularly spectacular against USC. Their offense did look really good, but in general, they've struggled in some tough situations. They haven't really faced many challenges this year. Navy even wasn't that much of a struggle for them. Neither was Army because they don't compete at the level that Notre Dame did. Marvin Mims in motion, 2nd and 1. Bo Nix looks to the side. It's Marvin Mims who reaches. He'll get the first down, but not the touchdown. Short by a yard, 1st and goal coming up for the Broncos. But the teams that have given them issues have been USC, Louisville, Northern Illinois, and then Texas A&M back in week 1. Like these teams that have given them struggles are Power 5 teams that have been really, really good. Notre Dame has not had an extremely difficult schedule. Indiana has played so many teams that could be potentially extremely difficult. I formation, Bo Nix will go play action. Nix looks to the end zone. He'll dump it off. Touchdown, Denver. It's Michael Burton, the fullback. And the Denver Broncos will take a 13-7 lead. He rolled out to his right, and Michael Burton, after picking up an initial block for him, it looks like we're shaping up to have a shootout, folks. I'm saying it right now. It's looking like we're ready for a shootout. Bo Nix just rolled to his right. Burton just got open short. That's all. That was just a smart job, not trying to force it deep to a receiver. Beautiful, beautiful job. The extra point from Will Lutz. Kick is up. It is good. 14-7. Denver. Los Angeles. Dueling. I mean, this is crazy. Bo Nix, 9 of 11 for 71 yards and a touchdown. Out comes Justin Herbert, who's already 4 of 4 for 43. These quarterbacks are dueling here early in this one. It's already 14-7. I'm looking forward to the shootout. I'm ready for the shootout. I'm here for it. This is about to be a great game. And especially since we have so much college stuff to talk about, it's taking so many commercials just for me to get to a point, because that's how we roll. I take so long to get to my points, y'all. But what was I saying? Oh, yeah, Indiana's schedule. Absolutely preposterously difficult. They're in the Big Ten. Sure, they scored 77 points on West Illinois, whatever. They had an early start. They did have UCLA. UCLA, not a particularly easy team to beat. Like, at the end of the year, UCLA beat some tough teams. They beat Fresno State. They beat Iowa. They beat Nebraska, Rutgers. I mean, they beat some tough teams. They beat Hawaii, which isn't necessarily special. But UCLA pulled off some big wins, and Indiana completely destroyed them. Indiana made quick work of them and everything. Then Indiana, they beat Charlotte. Yeah. Then they played a Maryland team who kind of didn't finish half badly. Maryland also took down some very tough teams. They took down USC. They lost to a few really good teams as well. They had a tough schedule. Wow, looking at this, they had the best teams in the Big Ten on their schedule for Maryland, but they did beat Virginia. They lost to Michigan. How? Okay, maybe Maryland isn't a good example. Maryland isn't a good example. But Indiana then beat Northwestern. They beat Nebraska, Washington. These teams are not necessarily easy to beat. They destroyed Michigan State. They beat Michigan in the following week at home by 5 points. Michigan went on to beat Ohio State in a stunner. Michigan tried to like defensively strangle opponents, and that's how they won games. Didn't work against Indiana managed to pull away. They showed that they can win in every which way. I mean, they had a great game in that one. They looked in sync. Curtis Rourke made it look easy throughout most of the game, and not to mention that defense doing really well. The Chargers and Broncos versus teams at or under 500 and 8-0 and 7-0, but versus teams over 500, they're both 1-5. They're the Dolphins. They're the Dolphins. Both teams are the Dolphins. Both the 6 and the 7 seed are taking the spot of the Dolphins, folks. But Indiana's only loss comes to an Ohio State team who's very tough to beat. Like, they didn't perform badly this year. They had significantly harder schedule than Notre Dame, in my opinion. Might be a bold prediction, but you never know. Indiana has just looked more impressive than Notre Dame, in my opinion. Riley Leonard is a good quarterback, not a great one. I think Curtis Rourke has a ton of potential to be a great quarterback. That's why I'm taking Indiana. They might not have a great shot at winning it all, but Curtis Rourke is just like better. I mean, Notre Dame, of course, they have an explosive running back, but Indiana's running back isn't much worse than that. He's only got 100 less yards. Justice Ellison's been pretty decent for this Indiana squad. Their offense is moving. I mean, if Indiana can get rolling early in the game, Notre Dame might not be able to see what hit him. And Herbert will go play action before hitting Ladd McConkey in stride. He'll get 20, 25, and he'll step out of bounds after a gain of about 26 yards. So, yeah, I'm taking Indiana. I think they've been more impressive. I think I took 4 commercials to make my point, but I think it was a pretty valid point. Now, back to the NFL for a bit. We'll take a 2-commercial break from college before going into our next one. That was a 27-yard pickup from Ladd McConkey. I can't believe I eyeballed that correctly. Now, I'm excited for how this one's going so far. 14-7, we're in the middle of a shootout. Chargers are on their way as well to scoring yet again, already into Broncos territory. Herbert handoff to Kamani Vidal goes about 2 yards. So Kamani Vidal, he's the rookie out of Troy, 6th-round pick. So the Chargers have gotten lucky with some 6th-round picks. We saw the big man as a 6th-round pick for them, who made some big plays on that last one, number 44, and then Kamani Vidal as well. So they're 6th-round picks in back-to-back years. Maybe that's just the round of the Chargers. The time of possession has been dominated by the Broncos, but both are, oh, wow, Broncos bring some heavy pressure there. Herbert steps up as a quarterback draw. He just slides. Yeah, that was pretty smart, not taking any hits. Yeah, I mean, he saw it. There was a linebacker that was gunning for him there. He didn't have a whole lot of room to run. Interesting play call. I'm not sure I would have called that on a 2nd and 8. 3rd and 5 coming up. Broncos defense trying to get the Chargers offense off the field. He'll flick one in there to, I want to say I know who that is, but I don't. Stone Smart. Okay. Stone Smart is in his 3rd season out of Old Dominion. No idea who this is. Stone Smart got open on just a simple slant. Nothing too complicated. Herbert nails him. Good job by Smart. Getting some yards after the play, getting the first down, keeping the drive alive for the Chargers. They're at the 26-yard line. Broncos bring some pressure. Hand off to Gus Edwards. He'll get about 3.5 yards. Smart, I don't think that. It's quite the compliment. I mean, depends on the stone. I personally, I feel like limestone's a genius, but marble, those guys don't have a whole lot going on. 2nd and 7 coming up for the Chargers. 9:45 to go here in the 2nd quarter. 2nd and 7. 12's in motion. Herbert under pressure. He'll dump one off. Back again to Smart. And Smart goes for about 6 yards. He's out a yard shy of the first down marker. So Stone Smart yet again. Hey, whatever works. Give it to Smart. It's a smart thing to do. So, I mean, there was a few missed blocks there by the Chargers, including one by Smart, but it provided the dump off Herbert needed. No, yeah, he totally. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do. If you miss a block that badly, just get yourself open. He got beat hard on the block there, but managed to get himself open, get 6 yards. 3rd and 1. What's the call here for the Chargers? The big defensive lineman motion handoff. Gus Edwards stuffed. That's a loss of 4 yards. Oh, man. And the Broncos defense comes in huge. What do you do if you're Jim Harbaugh here? It's 4th and 3. They're sending out the kicker. Dicker the kicker is who they're sending out on this one. An interesting choice. I mean, the Broncos offense is red hot right now. 21-10 is not particularly comfortable to come back from. But Gus Edwards, I mean, who was that? Allen. Allen made a huge tackle there. So this is a 37-yard field goal for Dicker. Kick is good from Can Dicker. 4th and 3 after a huge Broncos stop. Makes it 14-10. 8:50 to go here in the first half. Red hot Broncos getting the ball back. Up by 4. I mean, that was an interesting call. I mean, do you think it was the right call? What are we thinking? I feel like I might have gone for it. Knowing how hot the Broncos offense was looking at that point, like they were looking fantastic. The Broncos offense has been moving the ball very nicely. I mean, sure, Herbert is perfect in this game right now. 7 of 7 for 88 yards. We are looking at a perfect game alert. 2 drives in, 8 of 8, or 7 of 7, sorry. 7 of 7 for 88. If only you were 8 of 8 for 88. But I mean, you never. This one is shaping up to be a really tough one for both teams. But the Broncos, I mean, it's an interesting choice from Harbaugh. I respect taking the field goal, trusting your defense to get off the field. I'm trusting your defensive coordinator, Jesse Minter. But the Broncos, they're going to be tough to stop. They're doing a great job, and we know that Sean Payton, if he's faced with the same situation of a fourth and short, that close to the end zone, and he knows that the Chargers have not been letting opportunities slip, you're going for that. I think it's an interesting call by Jim Harbaugh. We'll see if it pays off. You know, it's tough. It's tough. The Chargers, Ladd McConkey only has 1 reception. He's got 27 yards. Sutton's got 2 for 22. So both quarterbacks have been spreading the ball around fairly nicely so far in this one. As, wow, Bo Nix has targeted what? 3, 6, 9, 8 people on this one. He's done 11 passes, targeted 8 people. He's only targeted 2 people more than once. I think I counted wrong, but whatever. He's only targeted Cortland Sutton and Michael Burton more than once. And then on the other end of things, 6 targets out of 7 passes for Justin Herbert. Only person he's thrown out more than once is Stone Smart. We got some weird guys in this one. He needs to take a lesson from good old Dan Campbell. Arby's. Not sponsored by Arby's. Wait, that was an Applebee's commercial, whatever. Not sponsored by either of them. Bo's breakthrough weeks 1 through 4, 2 of 2, 15.5 points per game, 1 touchdown, 4 interceptions. Week 5 through 15, 7-3 record, 27.4 points per game, 19 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. What did I say? I knew, like, eventually Sean Payton loves those guys. You know, Drew Brees is just a veteran quarterback who knows what he's doing. We're seeing the same thing again here. It's a veteran quarterback who knows what he's doing. He's a rookie, but he's a veteran. Like, come on. You ain't ever going to see a rookie as old as this guy. Bo Nix is currently doing his mic'd up. I can't do anything about that. I mean, Bo Nix, he's older than half the guys on this team, and he's a rookie, but he's played a lot of college ball. He's pretty experienced. So Bo Nix is 9 of 11 for 71 and a touchdown today. See if he can put together a second touchdown. 14-10 Broncos lead. Javonte Williams is the back. Blitz showing from the Chargers. They don't bring it. They only rush 4. Javonte Williams, it's a running back screen. He'll get about 4 or 5 yards. I think they're going to give him 4. Second down coming up. They're going to give him 4. Yes. Yes. What?
For 4 years, and he told me it's impressed him to watch Nick's style of leadership with a C on his chest.
Nothing important. Bo Nix has a captain. He's a captain now. Good for him. He's impressive show of leadership. He played a lot of college ball. Same thing as I just said, basically. And the Broncos appear to have jumped. And they will to bring up 2nd and 11. Powers, second penalty called on Powers today. He's kind of been the weak link on this offense so far. No offense to Powers, but yeah, he has committed 2 penalties. 2nd and 11. I mean, this offensive line's been pretty clean so far throughout this one, but this one's kind of been the big one, was just Powers. On that false start, he's got 2 penalties, but mostly Broncos O-line has been keeping it clean. Sean Payton likes to discipline his players. He tends to have very disciplined teams. Bo Nix looks to throw, and it's tipped. Oh, a dangerous pass there. Headed for Cortland Sutton. Ugh, I got allergies. 3rd and 11. So 3rd and long coming up for Denver here. If you're Sean Payton, what's the play call? In a less than hostile environment here in Los Angeles. I mean, like, even looking out there right now, there's still quite a few orange jerseys on the east side. I don't know why I say east side, like I know which cardinal direction they're facing. 3rd and 11. Bo Nix looks for it. He looks deep and then just dumps it off to Javonte Williams, who needs 10. He gets it. An impressive effort from Javonte Williams getting the first down. That was a good effort from Javonte Williams. I mean, Bo Nix is just like, here. Khalil Mack showing some pressure on that one. He came in like a bullet. He's double teamed there. They knew that he was going to make a difference, and they double teamed him. And he has been very disruptive. I'm surprised that they're not double teaming Joey Bosa. But Javonte Williams, I mean, getting hit, he just kind of lunges. Khalil Mack has been disruptive early in this one, and double teaming him, cruel. 1st and 10. Marvin Mims in motion out of the backfield. Play action, and they'll dump it off to Mims. And Marvin Mims cuts a corner to the 40. He's got one man to beat to the 20, the 10, the 5. He's out at the 3-yard line. Marvin Mims Jr. on a screen pass, showing off some of that speed. And what a job by Marvin Mims. That was a fantastic job by Mims, just showing off that speed, walking the tightrope, and then making a one-man miss, and he just needed a little more power. He was getting pulled from the back of his jersey out of bounds there. But Marvin Mims, wow. And he tries to cut it in and then right back out. I know, I was not expecting this to be as much of a shootout as it is. Expected one defense to come up strong eventually, but so far it has been none. Ooh. And a dangerous overthrown pass towards Javonte Williams. Williams saying, that's my bad. And Williams could have grabbed it. It was a little high, but almost dangerously intercepted there. Sean Payton being an old-fashioned coach. You know, when you're not holding the sheet, you just use your hand. Javonte, yeah, he should have had that. I mean, it was a little high, but if it hits you in the hands, you got to catch it. 2nd and goal. And it'll be a hand. Oh, no, it'll go play action overhead. It's caught. Touchdown, Devon Vele. Denver, 3 drives, 3 touchdowns. The Broncos are on fire. Wow. Like, there has just been no stopping them. They have just not stopped moving, and they have continued to dominate here, and we're seeing it again. Denver is going absolutely crazy right now. Bo Nix, well, there was a flag. They calling this back here? I wasn't paying attention for a second. There was no flag on the play. Touchdown, Denver. The Broncos. Bo Nix hooking up with Devon Vele for a 6-yard touchdown. He just rolled out to his left and then delivers a dime right into Devon Vele's chest. What a throw. Bo Nix, 13 of 17 for 146 yards, and not 1, but 2 touchdowns. Soon enough, he's going to be counting them by the end here. Extra point from Will Lutz is up, and it is good. 21-10. This is not what I was expecting. I mean, I expected the Broncos to win. I picked the Broncos. Happy they're winning, but boy, I did not see this coming as Denver is up by 11, 21-10. Denver is currently galloping all over the Los Angeles Chargers in this one. All right. I did promise 2 commercials. This is the second commercial, so here we go. 11th seed SMU taking on 6th seeded Penn State. So SMU's trying to prove that they belong in the college football playoffs, while Penn State attempts to do what they normally do. I mean, Drew Aller's been a fantastically accurate quarterback. Then sure, the interceptions are about the same as Kevin Jennings, but ultimately Drew Aller's done a fantastic job. He's got a great quarterback rating at Penn State. He's done a really great job just doing what he does best. I mean, he truly has been a really good player in this one. He's got the tight end, Indy, PSU. Hey, you nailed it. Great job. You nailed it. Me too. You've predicted my predictions. So yeah, I'm picking Penn State to win this one. I mean, Nicholas Singleton's done a good job out of the backfield. I mean, Brashard Smith obviously has the advantage as the running back. For SMU, Penn State yeah, you're right. They do choke in big games, but they're happen to be against a team who knows a thing or two about choking in big games. Clemson. I mean, come on. Like, if they were playing Miami, they would not have even gotten away with it. Neither of them. Like, if it were Miami in the ACC championship game, Miami would have scored 35 points. And final score would have been like 45-30. Like, SMU would not have done as well as they did against Miami because Clemson is not that good. Like, Clemson hasn't even showed me that they're a decent team all year long. And here's SMU like ridiculous. They've been playing so, they say they're a good team, but we are. I mean, the ACC, I'm like, not a single one of you has the chance of being a real contender. You know why? Why? SMU's going to choke. Clemson's going to Clemson's just solid. They're just solid. They're not going to choke because they never stood a chance. Again, the only way they beat a team is if they choke. Like Texas, they're not going to win unless Texas chokes it, which they haven't unless the opposing team starts with a G and ends in an A. So, yeah, I mean, Penn State's just been a more – I know. That was so disappointing. I want to know what went right. So, it's not necessarily that I want to know what went right in FSU. I want to know what went right in Oregon State. Because when I look at it, I see, okay, we got DJ Uiagalelei, awful in Florida State. Jonathan Smith, awful at Michigan State. Trent Bray, awful at Oregon State this year. Silas Bolden didn't even get a starting job. He finished as the 4th man at Texas. The only one that actually landed with a decent spot as a starter was Damian Martinez. So, what went right for Oregon State is my question, because they were good last year. They were fun to watch. They were good, but what went right at Oregon State that went right nowhere else? That's the big question for me. If someone can answer that, I'll be very happy. But Penn State ultimately is the more consistent team. SMU, I mean, they got a lot of talent. It would be fun to see if they can upset Penn State. Ultimately, I don't see it happening. I think the safe pick's just to take Penn State. So I'm taking the Nittany Lions. Gus Edwards was shaken up after a 2-yard run. Kamani Vidal's in the backfield. They've had enough injuries from Gus Edwards. Broncos showing pressure. It's a quick throw to the sideline. Josh Palmer. Palmer will get about 5 yards. But those defenses were not awful. The thing is, he played defenses he balled out against Oregon and Bo Nix. I'm pretty sure they won that game, honestly, or at least it was really close. One or the other. That game was tight. For it to be a fluke. Smart in motion. Herbert drops back to pass. He'll look over to Josh Palmer, who's drilled as he tries to make that one 4th and 3. Wow, good job there. by Brandon Jones, the former Miami Dolphin, coming in like a torpedo on Palmer, who tried to one-hand catch it, but Brandon Jones, I mean, he didn't even hit him hard. He hit Surtain harder. He just nailed the ball. Helmet to ball action there. Just dong. Like, he just hit his hand. He didn't even hit the guy. He just hit his hand. Great job. Ooh, they almost get some pressure on J.K. Scott there. This will be fair, caught at the 22-yard line by Marvin Mims. Out comes Bo Nix, 5 minutes to make something happen. Are we looking at 28-10? We might be looking at 28-10. But you like the Pac-12 defenses. Utah, very good defense last year. Oregon, very respectable defense last year. Washington made it to the national championship game. Pac-12 was not weak in their final season as the Pac-12. They were not weak by any means. And DJ Uyunglele, I knew how to say it. It's like Uyunglele is the official pronunciation. At least that's how Kirk Herbstreit says it. DJ Uyunglele. All I think of is ukulele, so I'm just calling him DJ Ukulele for the longest time because, it's just me picturing a DJ with a ukulele. Very cool. But, it doesn't make sense because the ACC this year, defensively speaking, awful. Absolute, ridiculously awful. Miami's defense, horrendous. The best defense in the ACC belonged to Duke. And then I believe the other one was SMU, were the top two defenses. And those aren't two necessarily great defenses. The rest of the defense is kind of bad. The defenses aren't good in the ACC this year. It was kind of all offense. Cam Ward and Miami single-handedly said that they were offense. SMU said that they were the most well-rounded team. And Clemson just said, we're going to consistently score 28 points, and if anyone can beat that, then you win. Just Clemson's we're just going to score 28 points. If you can beat that, congrats. That's kind of been the story for Clemson. Only a few teams managed it. SEC's miserable. Literally, you plug in an SEC team into the Big 12 or maybe even the ACC, and they're competing for a championship. It's kind of been embarrassing as far as the ACC's defense It's gone. Is anyone paying attention to the R&L Carriers New Orleans Bowl coming down to the wire? Sam Houston leading 21-16 as the third quarter's underway. I mean, they could. I'm not sure about the ACC just because, honestly, the only reason Miami didn't win, if Miami had just beaten Syracuse, their offense was honestly good enough to just win the entire thing. If they had just gotten through that game, if they didn't have a chronic illness for choking, then they would have probably made it all the way. But Arkansas could definitely be plugged into the Big 12 and win fairly easily. But they're regretting the SEC switch. Bo Nix goes play action on the shovel. He's got plenty of room to run, and he will. He'll take it 15 yards down the sideline. Bo Nix saying, I got some wheels, and they ain't training. That was awful. Comacord could definitely be a good sleeper pick. He could. I like his over-the-shoulder throws. I saw that game, and he had some interesting looks. He just kind of, he loves that throw. He threw it 6 times. Just this little calm, over the shoulder. And it just falls into the receiver's hands. He's not too great when it comes to the middle of the field. He's all right. But really, he's been much better at just those over-the-shoulder contested throws. He's done a really good job. We'll see. Bo Nix pressured heavily. He's taken down. Joey Boza getting in on the sack there. About time. Bo Nix got swallowed up in seconds. Yeah, Kyle McCord's definitely a good pick. Someone can get him. My guess, hear me out, Kyle McCord is going to a really interesting team. That's just my prediction. He'll be going to a good team. Perhaps what I was initially thinking was Baltimore. I don't know why, but I was just thinking, Lamar Jackson ain't getting any younger. I'm sure he won't stick around, probably. He might have a Jordan Love scenario where he plays out Lamar's contract, and you never know. It could be Seattle. But the thing is, Kyle McCord isn't good enough to get a first-round pick. He's not good enough to be a second. He'll probably be a third-round, fourth-round pick. Anyone can get him. Hey, I would not be upset about having Kyle McCord on Miami. Just saying. Like, literally just any quarterback. Please. Because, like, it's just, I mean, Tua's fine. I'm all right with him. I'm kind of annoyed at him, but like, just Kyle McCord, I just need someone to back up Tua just because of how often he gets injured. All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Have a good rest of your day. Means a lot. Goodbye. Second and 18 coming up. I love it when people say that kind of stuff, man. It's crazy. Because that's like, it's not like he would fit right in owning Miami, you know. I mean, I feel like that would be like such like deja vu. He's like, hey, how did this happen? And you just got Mike McDaniel sitting on the other team. Remember us? Do you remember what you did to the university? Do you remember? That sounded more like my awful Donald Trump impression or something. I don't know. Do you remember what you did to this country? No, I have no idea. Like McDaniel's voice is more chill. Like, you remember what happened? No, but yeah, thank you very much for tapping that. You know, it makes my day because this channel wasn't made for anyone to watch. It's kind of just made for me, kind of just made for fun. Like, I don't get anything from this. Oh, and that was a tipped pass by Bo Nix, brings up 4th and 6. Sorry. I don't get anything from this. Like, I just enjoy doing it. Like, it wasn't ever intended to have people watching. It was just always like just a fun little venture, fun little thing to do. It's more like a hobby. It's just a really fun thing to do with my spare time. So I really appreciate all the support. I'm really happy that you guys enjoy it because it's always just been like just a fun thing for me to do. Plus, it looks really good on a resume. Oh, yeah. Did you see that there's this meme that came out that was like, Mike McDaniel looked like the guy that helped you at the front desk, like looked like a manager of a Walmart when he first came to Miami, and now he looks like a Coke kingpin. Like the Miami Coke kingpin. And I mean, I love Mike McDaniel. He's great. Like, he's a great coach. I would be really, really sad if Stephen Ross fired him. Because at that point, it would be like, because I know what's going to happen. It's happened before. Mike McDaniel, believe me now, Mike McDaniel is going to get fired. If he gets fired from Miami, he's going to get hired as an offensive coordinator of like an elite team or something that just so happens to need a new offensive coordinator. I don't know. He's going to get hired by like, say, Denver. I don't know. He's going to get hired somewhere, and he's going to put together the best offense you've ever seen. He's going to win a Super Bowl with that team. He's going to be a head coach, and he's going to have a fantastic career wherever he ends up coaching after that. That's what happens when they leave Miami. You know, if he does get fired this year, he's going to go somewhere else, have an incredibly successful career, and Miami's just going to be stuck. Like, we should not fire him. Like, we should just let him rebuild. Dallas, true. Like, I mean, he might just end up in Dallas. He might make Dallas. Like, I would actually root for Dallas then. Like, most of the time, I don't like Dallas because of the ownership, the head coach. Get rid of those two. You bring in Mike McDaniel. I mean, that's just a phenomenal combo. Like, just Mike McDaniel would be good in Dallas. He would do great things there. Dump off to that guy. Our running back for about 3 yards. Bring us to the 2-minute warning. The Chargers need some juice heading into halftime, down by 11. No, I mean, like, just give him time. Mike McDaniel's a really great head coach. I mean, when you look at it, the things he's done in Miami is phenomenal. Like, just absolutely incredible. He's charming. He's charismatic. He's done a great job in Miami. Like, above all, he's a great coach. He's got a great presence. He's built a locker room. He's built an atmosphere. He's built a personality that has just never been done before. Like, there has not been a single coach who has the personality of Mike McDaniel, who's built the kind of locker room that Mike McDaniel has built in the way that he did it. Mike McDaniel's done a phenomenal job. Tua Tagovailoa with Brian Flores was one of the worst quarterbacks you'd ever see. He was awful. Like, genuinely, I did not want to see his face on the field. Mike McDaniel turned that guy, then, like, 1 year, like 1.5 years later, Tua Tagovailoa was widely considered a top 10 quarterback at the end of last year. This year, not so much. But last year, top 10 quarterback. Like, how do you do that? Like, that's not something that you can just kind of like brush off, because ultimately he did do that. Mike McDaniel did take a bottom 5 quarterback and turn him into a top 10 quarterback in less than a year. He did a phenomenal job. And ultimately, if he does leave Miami, he's going to find some other place. He's going to take another quarterback. He's going to make them better. He's going to make them better than Tua was. He's going to do a fantastic job. And then, it's all said and done there. Super Bowl for whichever team gets it. Like, I wish him all the best. If he does get fired from Miami, I'm rooting for whoever that team is that he gets signed with, whichever team he becomes the head coach with, offensive coordinator with. I mean, this guy's done a fantastic job in Miami, regardless of the record. Wherever he goes, he's won a fan right here. Like, right here, he's won a fan. Wherever Mike McDaniel goes, Mike McDaniel gets fired. He ends up as a coordinator somewhere. That's the team I'm rooting for to make the Super Bowl every year, other than the Dolphins. Because he's a fantastic coach. He's done a phenomenal job. And, I think he's done he's done some really, really spectacular things. So I think we just need to respect Mike McDaniel. He's done an amazing, incredible job. Like, I'm sorry if the Dolphins want to go ahead and just ship him out. Just after 1 year, they don't make the playoffs. But ultimately, if we do fire Mike McDaniel, we're not seeing the playoffs again for 10 years. Mike McDaniel managed to build this team. He managed a rebuild in 2 years. We were without a first-round pick in 2022 and a third-round pick in 2023. We lost a first-round pick. We had one less first-round pick than every other team, and we were still in the top 14 of NFL teams. It's a perfect pass from Justin Herbert to Ladd McConkey, quickly getting them deep into Broncos territory. 1:50 to go. Clock's ticking. The Chargers are going, hurry up. I think I've made my point. Mike McDaniel's a great head coach. Wish him all the best. Like, I really hope he stays in Miami. If he doesn't, I'm rooting for him all the way. 1st and 10 from the 37-yard line. Justin Herbert takes the snap. He looks deep. He'll throw over his shoulder, incomplete. Nobody in sight. 2nd and 10. Maybe a miscommunication there. Not sure what the intention was on that one. We see the previous play. Ladd McConkey just kind of slips through. There was no safety there. There's only one high safety, and he's the one who made the tackle. And the middle of the field was wide open. Linebackers dropped down. Brandon Jones did a great job tackling him and keeping him in bounds for that matter. 1.5 to play here in the first half. 2nd and 10. Blitz coming. The Broncos rush 7. He dumps it off to Ladd McConkey. McConkey tries to get the first down. He won't. He'll get about 8.5 or 9. The ref is standing right at the first down marker, though, so that's a little surprising. It looks like they might actually give him the first down. They do. What? Okay, whatever. 21 to 10. Minute left to play. Chargers going to hurry up. They will call timeout. I believe it was the Chargers who called timeout. We'll see. I think it was the Chargers. Ladd McConkey got things rolling there. 1:07 to go. Chargers driving. At some point, if you're the Broncos, you might want to consider, like the way your offense has been playing, might want to consider calling your own 2 timeouts. Might want to consider calling those timeouts, get the ball back, make some smart decisions, maybe get a field goal out of it, take a 7-point lead going into the half. Assuming the Chargers do score a touchdown here, which is not a guarantee. They're reviewing the play of the first down. I was about to say, I did not think he got the first down. Doesn't really matter. It was 1st and 10, but I think it was I don't think he did get. I was like, what? Generous spot. Jim Harbaugh trying to work things out with the officials. Sean Payton seemingly doesn't care. It'll be 3rd down. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's what he was short. He was clearly short on that one. He missed him. I believe clock will start on his signal. 3rd and inches. And 1:15 is put on the clock. Okay. So they took 10 seconds off of it. 3rd and inches. On his whistle. Yeah, they marked him like just short. Still a generous spot in my opinion, but it is 3rd and short. I mean, no pressure. It's 2 down territory. It's only an inch. But you go for more here. Don't run the ball. And they sneak it with Herbert. They get the 1st down. Call timeout. Call timeout. Call timeout. Okay. This should be a delay of game penalty on the defense. They got to call timeout. They're going hurry up. 55 seconds. Not sure what they're doing. You still have 3 timeouts. Herbert, juggles the snap. He darts one in. It's intercepted. That's why you call timeout. It's picked off, and there will be no points in this one for the Chargers. Call timeout. That's why you call timeout. When you call timeout, it was a bad snap. He juggled the ball and then made a risky throw. That's why you call timeout, so that you don't have to make those things. Just call the timeout. They chose a quarterback sneak with a minute left to play until the half. Now the Broncos have 40 seconds at their own 30-yard line. This is way manageable to get a field goal and take a 14-point lead in this one. I mean, it was just a bad read by Herbert into double coverage. And the juggled snap, just the timeout would have saved that. That was bad. That was a bad job by Jim Harbaugh. That was an awful decision. I mean, Justin Herbert didn't do much to his own credit there, but Denver is ecstatic right now. If you're a Broncos fan, you're having a ball. I mean, that was such a mistake by Herbert and Harbaugh. You can't even blame Herbert completely on that. You needed to call timeout if you're Harbaugh there. That was a huge mistake by the head coach. So now the Broncos are at their own 18-yard line, 41 seconds, 2 timeouts. They have plenty of time. And they go with a running back screen. I'm going to go for a loss of 3. Okay. Not a fantastic call, but whatever. Justin Herbert interceptions this season. He had 1 in the first 13 games. In these last 2, he has 2 interceptions. Yeah, he's struggled ever so slightly in these last couple of games. And another dump off to Javonte Williams, who slips. Okay, 3rd and 13. 13 seconds to go. Yeah, if you're the Chargers, you're just taking this one in the locker room. 13 seconds to go. That was such a mistake by Harbaugh. I mean, you could be walking away with 4 points, down by only 4 points going into the half. Needed to call timeout there. I'm sorry. Like, as much as you can blame Herbert for making a bad decision, the blame falls on Harbaugh. Needed to call timeout there. Hand off to Javonte Williams. Gets about 2 yards. That'll take us. Nope. Okay. Oh, now you want to call a timeout, huh? Don't embarrass yourself. Okay. The Chargers call a timeout with the hope of having one final play. This guy. Instead of just taking it to halftime. Not sure how I feel about calling timeout there. Not super sportsmanlike, honestly, but whatever. And there's no chance. You have 8 seconds. You're going to have like 4. So unless you have a really good return, the clock's already at 3, 2, 1, and he muffed it. Oh dear. There's multiple flags. Doesn't matter. Clocks are at 000. Okay, what a disastrous end to the first half for the Chargers. Just in general, just disaster. Broncos recovered the muffed punt, but absolute garbage there. I mean, by some crazy rule, the Broncos might have a second. They might have 1 second. Let's listen in here for a second. They do have it. They're saying that Kirk Herbstreit says they have a chance. Al Michael, has a chance to have a field goal. He might have run into the puncher there.
And it's a 15-yard penalty. We'll get him that time down. And LA will have 2 options. They can either snap the ball or they can do a free kick for a field goal, which we haven't seen in.
Oh, it's a fair catch penalty on Denver for a little tiny tap there. And they're saying it's first down for Los Angeles. So the Chargers can either kick a...
You're right. We haven't seen it in years.
Okay. So fair catch interference. Chargers can either throw a Hail Mary up or they can kick a last-second field goal, even though there are zeros on the clock, if I understand the NFL rulebook well enough. So, this is an interesting situation. There's zeros on the clock going into the half. I'm going to take a rest halftime, refill my drink, and get ready for the second half. Okay. But zeros on the clock, and the Chargers have the opportunity here to potentially score. So they elected to take that second timeout, which is legal, which stops the clock immediately after the penalty on the muffed kicks. Although there's no time left in the quarter, in the half, and this should be halftime, the Chargers will get one shot at either a phenomenal field goal attempt or a long Hail Mary. A field goal from here would be it would be a miracle. Yeah, I don't see how they can get this one. So Chargers are trying to work out some sort of game plan as Cameron Dicker warms up. Now maybe. There's a lot of confusion on the Chargers sideline as the refs try to straighten things up after the fair catch interference, which was barely even a tap. Okay, bit of confusion going on here. Oh, excuse me. All right, 1st and 10. 2 in the morning, folks, 2 in the morning. 1st and 10. And they're sending out the kicking team. Okay. And you see the punter, J.K. Scott's trying to work something out with the ref. I have no idea what's happening. This is an interesting and incredibly rare scenario in which the clock said 0 and there will be allowed to be one more play. Denver just technically iced the kicker. What is it? Okay. Yeah, whatever. And Dicker's going back to the bench. All right. What is your plan here? I no idea what's happening. So Dicker goes back to warming up. Okay, he was just getting one more practice in. Okay. Here we go. This could be crazy. What are they doing? Wait, is this a...
21-13 at the half if it's good. I mean, he takes all the time in the world. It's like warm-ups.
Oh, it's a free kick. Oh, so they don't actually have to line up in field goal position. He can take all the time he wants because there's zeros on the clock. So because there's zeros on the clock, it's a free kick. He's allowed to kick a field goal in any positions, and this is technically a kickoff. Any point scored will count. So he can technically make it 21-13. And the kick, a 57-yard attempt, is good. What a wacky finish. 21-13. So on a fair catch interference with zeros on the clock and a field goal in kickoff formation, the Chargers have scored 13 points. A 57-yard field goal. Well, alrighty then. And so the Broncos are only up by 8 points because of a fair catch interference with zeros on the clock, which resulted in a free kick. So a free kick is basically a kickoff position that makes it, from what I understand, a free kick is a kickoff that makes it a field goal that like any points that's scored counts. It's an extremely rare occurrence that's only happened like once or twice, which is absolutely insane. And I am finding myself in pure shock. Okay, so the Chargers somehow, even after the interception with like 40 seconds left to go, come out with points. Fascinating finish to the first half. So on a free kick, the Chargers scored 21-13. Okay. All right, it's halftime. I will be back before the start of the second half after that wild. I've only seen it once. I think I've seen it once and it was a long time ago. I have a memory of it being the Chicago Bears playing. I don't know if they were the one kicking. Probably not, but I remember it being very strange. So yeah, I'll be back after halftime and we can determine what happened after the half. All right, see you on the other side of halftime. I found food, so I'm going to be eating off to the side, but I'll still be reading the chat. So if you say anything interesting, I might chime in, but I'm just going to be over here. I just found pasta. No protein. I just found pasta, so I'm just going to eat it. Put some seasoning on it, no plain pasta. Just going to eat that, and I'll watch the chat if anything happens. Bye. Some little known pasta secrets. Just a little bit of a Italian seasoning, just classic Italian spices, along with a bit of Spanish. We call it adobo, and you just kind of sprinkle it on there. Perfect. Tastes great. Highly recommend. 10 out of 10. Try putting some on your pasta. Make it so much better. Delicious. So I was wrong. So this was the first fair catch, free kick made field goal since 1976. Wow. Chargers defense allowed in the last 4 quarters has been a lot. Okay, I wasn't paying attention fast enough. Quarterback comparison. Bo Nix 15-21 for 155 yards, 25 rush yards, 2 total touchdowns. Justin Herbert 12-15 for 140 yards, 4 rush yards, and an interception. Yeah, I know. It's just perfect. Very Italian, very Spanish. It's kind of got that nice combination in there. It's delicious. They're currently showing Kirk Herbstreit and now Michaels. Just ignore them. Turn my volume up, turn them down. Unless, there's a referee talking. Only ones we need to pay attention to anyway. I mean, it's perfect because it's just pasta with a bit of seasoning. And seasoning just makes all the difference. We don't have a whole lot of that in Europe. Oh, game started. Move my chair out of the way. We're going to go standing desk for a bit. Standing desk. I love it. Move this down a little. The standing desk. That's right. You didn't know it could do that, did you? Bo Nix throwing on the run, 6 of 7 for 48 yards and 2 touchdowns. When he's scrambling, he's been on fire. He's not normally known as that improviser quarterback, but he's done a great job so far just improvising on the run. Cajun seasoning is amazing on pasta too. Really? I'll have to try that someday. So this is someone that traditionally, I don't care for like pasta dishes at restaurants. I formation handoff to Audric Esteem. Audric Esteem steams ahead for about a gain of 7. Like at restaurants, if it's like an Italian restaurant, I don't order pasta. So if it's an Italian restaurant, chances are I'm ordering pizza. Or something else, like, maybe like a chicken dish or something. I don't always order the pasta. Occasionally I order the pasta. There's this Italian restaurant in Orlando called Carrabba's. And really what you get there, like you just go simple. You just get a simple salmon. Like doesn't sound Italian, but the seasoning on it's just so Italian. With their Italian style pasta, fantastic. It's like one of the few pasta places I'll actually eat that you just eat the pasta. And that's Watson. Plows forward for 2 yards on that one, 3rd down. Yes. I don't mind lasagna or chicken Alfredo. I don't go out of my way to order them, I don't go out of my way. I do eat them occasionally, but I don't go out of my way. And like if that's something like if I'm feeling that, then I'll grab it. But most of the time I'm kind of not, because I don't really like crave pasta. I kind of just looked in the fridge, saw there was some pasta, took it. Bo Nix flicks one underneath to Marvin Mims. Nope, that's Troy Franklin. Troy Franklin to about the 43-yard line of Los Angeles. 16-19. They got to make them a little more variety in their wide receiver numbers. Like literally got 14, 17, 19, and 16 all on the same field. Like where's 15? I've never had homemade lasagna. I mean, it sounds good, but I technically homemade. It wasn't made from scratch. It was like, and a fumble in the backfield from Marvin Mims. He aborts it. It's a loss of 2, maybe more. Ooh, that's dangerous. He just flat out dropped it. So that's a loss of a few. So everyone can make lasagna? I've never had homemade lasagna. I've never made lasagna. I've also never expressed any interest in making lasagna. Oh man, Marvin Mims just dropped it. That was hot. 100% on Mims on that one. 2nd and 12. I would be willing to try some homemade lasagna. And it's a shovel. This time it'll work. It's a flea flicker. We love flea flickers. Bo Nix rolls right. He dumps it off to fullback. Running to the tight end, Trotman. Man, what's up with the flea flickers being awful? I got so excited. A flea flicker. Yes. They did have 2 high safeties, so they covered it pretty well. It was a significantly delayed flea flicker, though, so much so that I thought it was a run for the most part. But just a dump off to Trotman, easy yards. I'm sad that wasn't a touchdown. I love it when flea flickers work like they used to. It's like same thing for the Philly special. You get all excited for it when it happens, but chances are it's not going to work. 3rd and 7. Heavy blitz coming for Nix. He dumps one off again. And he's stuffed. It was Adkins, but he gets stuffed by the Chargers D on that one. Good job there by the Chargers defense. The Broncos seem like they're staying out on the field, trying to extend their lead. I want to know how my fantasy team's doing, because it is that time of year. The fantasy football playoffs have arrived. I won my last matchup. Okay, what? I'm predicted to lose by a massive amount, even though the person I'm playing has like a bunch of mediocre players. Cortland Sutton on a screen. He gets it. Wow, that's an effective screen. First down, Denver. Hey, taking a page out of Dan's book. Good old Dan. Dan Campbell's book, going for it on 4th down. We know what that got him a few weeks ago in Green Bay. Now you can go check out that VOD right down there at the channel. I just set myself up for these plugins perfectly. So the Broncos on the screen there, going for it on 4th and 2. Completed pass, first down, Broncos. Derwin James showing blitz. He'll bring it. Hand off to Esteem. Esteem loses 2. 2nd and 12. Blown up in the backfield. It's big number 90. That guy is huge. Yeah, that's one of those guys where if you see him in a Walmart, you're not going to mess with him. You just see him in a Walmart and you're both reaching for the same thing. You're just going to... So Derwin James came in on a huge blitz there, and he came steaming off the edge, and he almost got to Esteem. He did miss him, but... Yeah, like you see this guy, he just reaches his hand towards the same thing as you. Hey, you first. That's what I would do. I was just, you go, yeah. Because just the full expectation that this guy can beat you up. 2nd and 11, Bo Nix steps up. He launches deep. Bo Nix looks to the end zone, and I don't know where the ball went. He sent it to the moon. There's some random Martian who's very happy about his NFL football. Just Bo Nix throws deep. Oh, wow, he threw too deep. 3rd down conversions, 4 out of 7. 7 average yards to go. So the Broncos have put in a few 3rd and long situations. Marvin got a souvenir. 3rd and 11, screen, another screen, and that one won't go. Marvin Mims, it'll be 4th and 3. How many pages out of Campbell's book can they take? Bo Nix is saying, let's do it. Bo Nix says, I want to do it. Sean Payton says, not this time. Sending out Will Lutz to make it an 11-point game yet again. Now I'm just picturing up there. E.T. Look, football. Will Lutz, 4th and 3. It's a 41-yard field goal attempt. The kick is up, and it is good. Right down the middle. Perfect kick from Will Lutz. 24-13. Denver, 11-point lead. Here on Thursday Night Football. Up next, Justin Herbert and the Los Angeles Chargers offense. I'm going to need some ratings on my ET impression. It's not my best. I haven't practiced it at all. But I think it was pretty good. So, just type those ratings in. I can make a poll if you want. Everyone seems to love polls. I don't get it. Now, if you're LA, do you go for 2 if you get a touchdown? That's interesting. Because 11 points, I wouldn't. Not at this point in the game. It's only the 3rd quarter. There's still plenty of football to be played. If they keep settling for field goals, eventually they're gonna end up dropping it. If you score in touchdowns, they score field goals. Math. Eventually, it's gonna stop working out for them. So I think it's fine if they just take it, chill for now. If they score, they just take the extra point. 12 out of 11. My man. It's not as good as my Mickey Mouse one, but, there's a time and a place. My Mickey Mouse one's by far my best impression. Actually, that's not true. I think that by far belongs to Kevin Harlan and Trent Green live from Miami Gardens, Florida. No one can actually tell if he's a good commentator. If he's saying smart stuff, no one has any idea. He's just got that voice. You should hear the chills he gives people in our field. Like, I talked to some people, favorite commentator, and they're like, Kirk Herbstreit. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, that's a decent one. Favorite voice of a commentator. Kevin Harlan and Trent Green live from Miami Gardens, Florida. Down on the sideline, we have Melanie Collins giving us the latest on head coach D'Amico Ryans. I could do it this whole time. I'm just trying to stay natural, but eventually, if someone says we're going to need you to change your voice a little, Kevin Harlan and Trent Green live from Miami Gardens in Florida. Seasons before Harbaugh as head coach: Stanford 1-11, San Francisco 6-10, Michigan 5-7, Chargers 5-12. The Jim Harbaugh effect. 2011 Orange Bowl champions, 2012 NFC champions, 2024 college football national champions, and the Chargers 8-6 this season. By far the least of them, but he's doing good work. Other than that timeout call that could have them in a much closer game than it is right now. No, like if someone's like, we're gonna need you to commentate as Mickey Mouse for the whole game, okay, like we need you to sound like Kevin Harlan. Kevin Harlan and Trent Green live from Levi's Stadium in San Francisco, California, as we get set for a good one as the San Francisco 49ers get set to take on the Arizona Cardinals. What are your thoughts on this one down on the sideline, Melanie Collins? Like when he talks, it barely looks like his mouth is moving. Like you can see his tongue like doing that. It's just the weirdest thing. I love Kevin Harlan. 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line. Justin Herbert under center. He'll go play action under a lot of pressure. He gets it out, delivers to Ladd McConkey, who gets swung out of bounds after a gain of 6. Just give the word, and I'll do a full game as Kevin Harlan. Kevin Harlan. There's no D. Okay. Like we'll just do a poll, be like Kevin Harlan or Mickey Mouse for an entire game. I had one where I was considering doing like the London games and just doing a British accent throughout the entire thing, just to be funny, like the Vikings-Jets one. It's Sam Darnold leading the way for the Minnesota Vikings as he's throwing to Justin Jefferson, and on the opposing sideline, it's an old man. He's older than King Charles. It's Aaron Rodgers and his 50-year-old self, Justin Herbert, meanwhile, taking off for a massive first down. A gain of 25 on the play. Good job by Herbert. A beautiful run, beautifully designed. It seemed more of like an improv thing, as if he was about to throw, but then suddenly decided not to. And Hazel, I would throw in as many of those as possible. Just say, I'm the British, I can do whatever I want. Though I do have to be careful about that. Pretty close. Couldn't do a German one. I was considering it briefly. Then I decided best against it because I didn't want to get arrested. I was thinking of like doing like when Madrid plays, I was just thinking of doing the entire game in Español. Thursday Night Football, I'm Española y bien 12. Just the entire game. Kamani Vidal is the back. Justin Herbert under center, 2nd and 8. Ladd McConkey in motion. Justin Herbert drops back to pass. He looks deep quickly, changes his mind, throws short, and a nice little effort by number 42. I'm not sure who that is. He's a big dude, though. It's another one of those guys. That is Tucker Fisk. The tight end Tucker Fisk. And he's a rookie out of Stanford. I'm really hoping that the next Disney special is the Muppets. So, and that's a nice little pass there. I can't do Kermit, honestly. It's not great. Unless he's singing. I can only do Kermit singing. But Swedish Chef would just be entertaining. I don't know what I would do for Muppets. Waka waka. We just gotta find a good commentary voice that's not Mickey, because I feel like it would get a little annoying after a bit. Because I can do Mickey for 3.5 hours. I've done it before, just not live. 2nd and 10, the 34-yard line. Number 12, I don't know who that is. Herbert rolls to his left under pressure, throws a laser beam up the middle. It's Smart, and Smart down at the 15-yard line. SpongeBob? No, I can't do SpongeBob. Not yet. Not there yet. He's not there yet. I'm trying to think of some other ones. My goal is to be able to do the voices of every single cartoon character. That's the ultimate goal. Justin Herbert's taken down. I thought for sure he was about to throw the ball away, but he pump faked and was taken down by Tillman. That was a huge mistake on Herbert's part. He should have just thrown that away. He had a shot, but didn't feel like taking the risk. Dondria Tillman making the play. He just broke right through. No one there. Herbert just should have chucked it. Like, he had a little bit of time there. He had the move, but he just didn't get the ball off in time. 2nd and 20. 1 sack for each team. Herbert looks back. He'll throw to Ladd McConkey, who tries to make a few men miss. He'll get it to about the 20-yard line. Go for about a gain of 6 on the play. Let's see. I could just do an entire commentary of C-3PO. Statistically speaking, it is rather impossible. No, I can't do C-3PO. I look like C-3PO sometimes, but... Oh dear. That's just a British accent. Justin Herbert looks deep, has to step up in the pocket. He'll just take off and run it himself before sliding towards the 11-yard line. Herbert, little shaken up. Uh-oh. Herbert was really slow on that one. And they are going to call a flag for a late hit and a hit to the head. They might have to take Herbert out of this game, at least for one play. He slid. Oh, what? Okay. That was not a helmet-to-helmet hit. Okay, fine. And they did call unnecessary roughness on Strenard, but there was no hit on the helmet or in the head or neck area. Interesting call. It didn't look that bad. I feel like Herbert might have just been already injured or already feeling a little banged up, but it didn't look like he hit him. Maybe a bit of Juilliard in him after all. Justin Herbert hands it off to Gus Edwards. Gus Edwards walks in. Touchdown, Chargers. 2:58 to go, and Gus Edwards walks in yet again. He's got his 2nd rushing touchdown of the day. Is it bad that Justin Herbert leads the team in rushing yards? And it looks like they will go for 2, which, I mean, isn't a bad decision. I just don't feel like they have to. They don't have to, but I think it is a good decision to go for it here. It isn't a bad, but they shouldn't feel like it's not an obligation to go for it. It's just helpful. So they're going to try and go for 2 on this one after the Gus Edwards run. We'll see if they can make it a 3-point game. Justin Herbert, we see they're running that fullback in motion, 42. That's a tight end. Just don't remember his name. There's so many of them. Herbert's in shotgun, and he'll sneak it himself. It's a design draw. He's short. He didn't get there. No good for the Chargers. So the Broncos hold strong on a 2-point conversion. An interesting call calling the QB draw. Not thrilled about it personally. It's not a beautiful call. As far I would not have called it. Yeah, so close to the prediction. Yeah. He was definitely short. He's down there. Obvious call. He's short of the goal line by quite a bit. And that's No good. This brings us to a commercial break, which we will take our time to look at the next college football matchup. College football playoff, game number 3. 12-seed Clemson goes up against 5-seed Texas. Deep in the heart of Texas is where they'll be playing in Austin at DKR, Texas Memorial Stadium. Texas has been perfect this year. They have not stopped winning. They've been absolutely insane when it comes to these games against top teams. They've handled Texas A&M, Kentucky, Arkansas, Florida, Vanderbilt, Oklahoma, Mississippi State, Michigan, Colorado State. I mean, the list goes on. They've just knocked on doors, and they've been going one at a time. There's only been one team in the entire nation who's been able to slow them down. And yeah, that team just so happens to start with a G and end in an A and also be the SEC champion, Georgia. So Georgia beat Texas twice this year. Texas's 2 losses come from a Georgia team that stomped on Clemson back in the beginning weeks of the year. And honestly, I haven't found Clemson has gotten much better since week 1 during the Aflac kickoff, where they got absolutely creamed by Georgia. And they've handled some opponents that the way. They did lose to Louisville and then again to South Carolina. Miami deserved to be in there more again, but whatever. Then they beat SMU. Then they did defeat SMU. They lost 3 times during the regular season, and they still beat out Miami. That Clemson by no means deserves to be here, and Texas is going to absolutely crush them. I mean, I don't think I will have ever seen Clemson lose this badly, but I am praying, I'm hoping that Texas humbles them so badly. They do not deserve to be here. They don't deserve it. I'm taking Texas by 35. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see Clemson ever again. Clemson somehow manages to win this. Good for them. You know what? They'll have proven me wrong, but 35 points, Texas. That's my pick. It shouldn't be close. They don't deserve for it to be close. Ugh, Clemson. I'm so sick of Clemson. How? They didn't deserve it. The AFC wildcard matchups through week 15. The Chargers and the Bills. The Broncos and the Steelers. And the Ravens and the Texans. That's currently how the playoffs stand. That was really confusing for a second. So Chargers will be going to Buffalo. The Broncos will be going to Pittsburgh. The Ravens will be going to Houston. So the Ravens and Broncos definitely put them on an upset watch on their. Chargers less so. Josh Allen's been playing at a superior level to the rest of the league. And I don't see the Bills losing to this Chargers team, which has looked fairly mediocre throughout this season. I mean, they've been good, but they've just been honestly they've been just above mediocre. They've been all right. And they've kind of showed that too. Justin Herbert was don't show that. I don't need to see that. Appeared to be getting some work done on his throwing shoulder there. In a bit of pain. Is a good coach, but I don't think he knows what it takes anymore to win with the way the game's going. The fact that he refuses to use the transfer portal is going to get him fired very soon, because eventually you're going to stop finding players that want to recruit to Clemson. They're not going to want to stay to Clemson. They're going to end up leaving. You're not going to have that many players. Eventually, Dabo's going to get fired just for his ignorance. Third down coming up for the Broncos, as Denver has failed to do anything on these last couple of drives, as it's already 3rd and long. 2 minutes to go here in the third quarter. This is not a time for Denver to be taking their foot off the pedal. Ooh. 3rd and 8. Chargers fans making some noise, even though there ain't a lot of them, because it kind of looks 50-50 as far as the fan bases go. 3rd and 8. Pressure showing. They bring 5. Nix on the run. It's almost intercepted. Does he have it? They're saying it's a catch. The Chargers are saying it's an interception. They're saying it's Broncos football, but it's a catch. Derwin James was right there with him. What is the? I think they're calling it Broncos ball. Okay, so the Broncos exhale as they're like, okay, we'll punt. Yeah, they're fine with that. Let's punt. As that ball was caught. Yeah, that's a catch. But Derwin James tried to snatch it from him. But that was originally a catch from Javonte Williams as he was going down. It was Javonte Williams. Broncos are more than happy to just send this one away. And we'll see here as this one will go out of bounds at about the 21-yard line, where the Chargers will start their drive only down by 5, 45 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Suddenly, the Chargers feeling some life here in the third quarter. Broncos are like, we'll punt, okay. It's like the most splash of cold water. Like, oh no, Bo Nix didn't just throw an interception at the 30-yard line, did he? It's like, no, okay. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, this is the last commentary before Christmas. So Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Have a good one. The next commentary, as it stands, things could change, but as it stands, will be Week 17 Saturday Night Football, Cardinals and Rams. As it stands. So that'll be interesting. It'll be intriguing. It'll be Saturday Night Football, immediately following Broncos and Bengals. And then it'll be that game at 1 a.m. my time. 8 p.m. Eastern. I think it's going to be a good one. Both teams are going to be fighting for their playoff lives. The other game that it might shift to depending on Week 16 results. Because if the Rams win and the Cardinals lose, that game gets a lot worse. So if the Cardinals drop to Carolina, but the Rams beat the Jets, that game is pretty much deemed irrelevant. Because the Cardinals are then out of the playoffs. The other game that we could be of interest to is watching rookie quarterback face rookie quarterback on Sunday Night Football. The Atlanta Falcons, Michael Penix against Jaden Daniels and Washington. So yeah, I mean, if you would rather Falcons Commanders, we could definitely do that one. It's between those two. It's between those two at the moment, between Cardinals, Rams, and then Falcons and Commanders. So let me know which one you'd rather have down in the comments, or I'll make like a poll in my channel or something to see if anyone has a preference. But if it comes down to me, unless something crazy happens and the Cardinals lose to the Panthers, it's looking like it's going to be Cardinals-Rams. I mean, it also comes down to how well Michael Penix looks against the Giants this week. Because if he balls out, throws 4 touchdowns, and then Jaden Daniels and the Commanders also happen to miraculously beat the Eagles, like that one then immediately gets bumped up as well. So there's a lot of stuff, like it's kind of iffy between the two of them. Ultimately, just check in on Saturday night. If there's a commentary going on Saturday night, that's the one I decided to commentate on. Justin Herbert is 10 of 10 for 126 yards on play action this game. 1st and 10. Broncos showing pressure on play action. Herbert throws, and he completes another one to Joshua Palmer for a gain of 11. Now, really, the best way is if you tune in on Saturday night, and there's a commentary going on. I think I chose that one. If there's not one, that means I chose Sunday night. Both could be very solid. 20 seconds to go. 1st and 10. They do have to snap the ball once more. And the call will go to Gus Edwards. We'll run it up the gun for about a gain of 4. And this will take us to the final quarter. End of the third quarter, the Broncos lead 24-19. But the Chargers are not going away without a bit of a fight. We got a close one here at SoFi Stadium. Stick around. Find out what happens. You know, things could still go relatively to plan if the Broncos get a field goal and the Chargers get a field goal and nothing else happens. We're going back to sitting down. Nice. Nice and chill. We're back. The standing desk is awesome. It's so fun. So yeah, that brings us to our last college football playoff game as the Ohio State Buckeyes gets to take on the Tennessee Volunteers at the Horseshoe. See, Tennessee, Nico Iamaleava, he has played good games and bad games throughout his short career as a freshman, but mostly it's been pretty trash. His QBR is the worst among any quarterback to ever make it to the college football playoff. We'll see if he can manage to pull off a miracle. You never know. We'll see if Nico Iamaleava can pull off a miracle, but those 19 passing touchdowns are not impressive. Thankfully, they have a juggernaut coming in at the run game in Dylan Sampson. Dylan Sampson has been really good coming in for this Volunteers running game. He's got 1,485 yards and 22 touchdowns. So if Ohio State is not able to shut down that run game, Ohio State might be in a bit of trouble. Ultimately, it does come down to defense because Tennessee has the highest havoc rate out of any defense in college football. They're quick to stop plays. Will Howard has to get the ball out quickly. He has to be clean. And the most important thing is no turnovers for Ohio State. Because if they start making too many mistakes, throwing too many turnovers, throwing too many picks, too many fumbles, then Tennessee might just get away to a fast enough start. And Nico Iamaleava isn't incompetent. He's still a quarterback. He can still score. And ultimately, if it comes down to it, if Ohio State keeps throwing interceptions, it gives you the ball at the 20-yard line, Iamaleava is going to score twice, going to make it 14-0. Even if it just means handing it off to Dylan Sampson twice. Ultimately, yeah, it comes down to the defense. If Ohio State makes those mistakes, Tennessee might win that. If they get Nico has been so inconsistent this year because in the first few games of the year against Chattanooga, NC State, Kent State, and then again in Oklahoma, they just rocked. They rocked the stadium. Like Nico Iamaleava was dropping dimes. I believe it was Arkansas that figured him out first. That Arkansas team that just stunned him, and he played like trash. Then against Florida, he played like trash. They still won. Then against Alabama, he played like trash. They still won. I mean, he didn't play totally bad, but no, yeah, he played pretty badly against Alabama too. It was really all the defense in that one. Kentucky played like trash, still won. Mississippi State, he played a little better. Georgia, he played like trash and lost. UTEP, he balled out that one too. Tennessee, he seemed to play fairly well in that one. Yeah, he had a decent game, 4 touchdowns. We take full responsibility for breaking Nico. But it's just the inconsistency in that one. So Iamaleava, he's got a tough defense against Ohio State. He hasn't done well against tough defenses. So really it comes down to defense on which team can perform better. But I think it's going to be Ohio State. I think they have a better chance. I mean, there's always a chance that something bad could happen. Did Herbert get called for a face mask penalty? Or is that just a calm stiff arm that he just gave? Like, wow. Or did they call a horse collar tackle? They call face mask or horse collar tackle? They called horse collar tackle. The poor guy's like, I was just getting stiff armed like by a quarterback, and they called me for the penalty. Yeah, I'm taking Ohio State over Tennessee. I think there's just a better chance that Ohio State can make something happen than there is a chance that Tennessee can pull off a miracle. But Ohio State does have a bit of a history in losing these games. Justin Herbert. And he'll go play action. Herbert has to step up. He'll throw, and it's swatted down at the line of scrimmage. That's his first incompletion on a play action so far today. 2nd and 10 coming up for the Chargers. Justin Herbert, 17 of 21 for 194 yards and an interception. Gus Edwards, 10 rushes for 27 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Ladd McConkey, 5 receptions of 70 yards. Yeah, if it does, first ever college football game in the snow, I'm rooting for it. Let's go. I'm ready. 2nd and 10 from the 47-yard line. It's the Los Angeles Chargers, Joshua Palmer in motion. Justin Herbert under center. He'll go play action. Blitz in his face. It's a running back screen to Kamani Vidal. Kamani Vidal got about 5 yards. There's a flag, probably holding. We'll see what the flag is. I'm guessing it's holding. Oh, no. They're saying I might be offside. It's offside. Okay. It's offside on the D lineman, Allen. I did not see that coming. Yeah, he was a little offside. Yeah, he was like a split second offside. It was tight, but I do think he was offside. Ever so slightly. 2nd and 5 coming up for the Chargers. 14:35 to go. I can already feel my voice. No. No. 2nd and 5. Justin Herbert. Hand off to Kamani Vidal. Vidal's going nowhere. Stuffed by this Broncos defense. 3rd and 5 coming up. Greg Roman, the offensive coordinator for the Chargers in this one. He's got a sketchy history with the Ravens. As we know, Ravens fans got a little sick of the same old narrative of just the same old plays. And it looks like the Chargers have pretty much adapted a very similar offense to the Ravens of the past. The Broncos look like they're bringing the house. Sans linebacker, they have to drop someone out. They didn't. They brought the entire house. And it's caught by Quentin Johnson in man coverage. 1st down, Patrick Surtain in coverage. It's not easy. Patrick Surtain saying there's a flag on the Chargers and there is a flag on the field. So the Broncos actually brought the entire house. We'll see what the flag is here. It's another offside penalty. Penalties declined. The edge rushers liner. Which one? They brought the entire house. There's no way to tell. Like there's like 10 people on the line. Huh. They called it on Tillman, which I believe is the left interior. I think. Don't test me. 1st and 10 on the Chargers. Herbert's under center. It'll go play action. He'll throw quickly underneath to Ladd McConkey. McConkey makes one man miss, and he'll get about 17. One closest to the bottom sideline. No, that's not who they called it. Tillman wasn't on the bottom sideline. That was a corner. Tillman's a big guy. Big dude. I think he's like 320 pounds, something like that. That's what he looks like. But I believe the guy on the far left, the closest to the bottom, was a corner, number 3. No, 5. Numbers are hard. Ladd McConkey, 8th straight game with 50-plus receiving yards, the longest streak by a rookie since 2014. Odell Beckham Jr. That guy, am I right? Justin Herbert looks to pass, under pressure, rolls to his left, throws. He's got a man, touchdown, Chargers! Darius Davis. And a throw on the run. Justin Herbert is lighting things up for the Chargers. What a throw on the run by Herbert. Wow. And that was fantastic. What an improvisation by Justin Herbert there. It was a wheel route for Darius Davis. Just a classic wheel. And Herbert scrambles out and hits him falling on the run and a dart. That is an impressive skill. Hit as he threw and delivers a dime to Darius Davis. I'm surprised he got away with that one. And they're going for 2 to try and make it a 3-point lead. 12:23 to go after that impressive throw under duress from Justin Herbert. Don't you dare run the ball. There go play action. As was intended, it's thrown over the middle. Oh my goodness, he got it! No way! Oh my goodness! And Justin Herbert way overthrew his initial receiver, and Joshua Palmer What? The toe tap legendary. And Joshua Palmer tips it back to himself. I mean, one-handed tip. Catch 1, 2, toe tap. 2-point conversion's good. 27-24. Wow. That was an incredible grab. The concentration, the focus. That was impressive. That was an impressive play there. Wow, that's fun. It's a fun 2-point conversion. Is that? What? These commercials get to me. It's like, is that? I think this one is it? It's just like random actors that I see, and I'm like, is that who I think it is? It's a Disney Plus commercial, not sponsored by Disney Plus, but I'm like, is that David Schwimmer? It is. He just looks ancient. I'm like, wasn't that guy young like 5 years ago? Now he looks old. He looks so bad. Pivot! Yeah, great show. And we'll definitely ain't doing that. No. The tip, the 1 tip, 2 tip, catch, toe drag. Wow. Pivot! 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 Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Oh, yeah, good show. Good show. I'm fine. We're fine. I might have to watch that just because I'm like, is that David Schwimmer? I mean, it doesn't look good, but from the commercial, it didn't look good. But you know, when you recognize an actor, you gotta go, hey, I know that guy. Gotta watch it. It's kind of like whenever you see the voice of Rise Darby, and you're like, hey, it's Rise Darby. Why is he in everything? You secretly know who Rise Darby is without knowing who Rise Darby is. We'll see who can figure out who Rise Darby is first. That's the goal. Who is Rise Darby? Then I'll do my best impersonation of him by the end. So a double tip toe drag catch is incredible. He's secretly in everything. He's an incredible voice actor who's also been an actual actor in a very popular series of movies, 2 movies to be exact, soon to be 3. And this one is booted into the back of the end zone where the Broncos will take over at their own 30-yard line. So at the 7-minute mark, I will say who Rise Darby is. I'll do the voice, and then after the voice, I'll tell you 2 minutes after that if you can't guess who he is, who he plays afterwards. All right. So the fun game. Who is Rise Darby or Rye Darby, however you want to say it? His voice is iconic now. I didn't think it was, but now his voice is iconic. I feel like he mostly works for Disney. No, because they're not Disney. His main role that he was an actor in was not Disney, but he does a lot of stuff for Disney. But he also does some stuff for Netflix. He's just a really good voice actor. He's got a very recognizable voice where I've always been like, hey, look, that's Rise Darby. He's in everything. He just randomly shows up. Not sponsored by Disney or Netflix, obviously. Bo Nix, handoff to Audric Esteem. Audric Esteem, 4 yards, 5 yards, up the middle. I don't think so. I should pull up his. I probably. Pull up his IWMB so I can know exactly what he's in, because I don't know all of them. I think I know most of them, but 2nd and 5. Play action. Under pressure, Nix throws it at the dirt. Incomplete. He's in a lot of stuff. I'm still looking. I don't believe so. He's been in the 109 things. That's kind of crazy. No, he's not in Sonic 3. You know who it is? Okay. Let's hear it. Third and 5 coming up for Bo Nix in Denver. Nix drops back to pass under pressure. He'll dump one off. It's a beautiful play there to Burton, the fullback. Well, I mean, it's yes, yeah. You did get it. Yeah, he got it. Welcome to Jumanji. I am Rise Tommy. And more recently, he plays. So, have any of you seen Monsters at Work? He voices Roger Rogers. So that's the nephew of the original bad guy from Monsters of Waternoose. He's Waternoose's nephew. His name's Roger Waternoose II, and that's who he voices. He voices basically the same role. Oh, and Bo Nix launches deep. They're saying incomplete, no PI. Oh, he threw one up there. Oh, that was close. I thought he almost had it. Nah, he voices a ton of people. He's been in all kinds of stuff. Marvin Mims actually had him beat. It was underthrown and then a little bit of PI, but they just didn't call it. Trying to think of some other stuff he might be known as. Yeah, that's PI last time I looked. Yeah, I was gonna, what was that? It looked like enough to me, but they didn't call it, so whatever. Handoff to wow, and Williams gets absolutely nailed for a gain of 2. Nigel Billingsley at your service. Let's see. Trying to think of some other stuff that he plays Crash Bandicoot in Skylanders Academy. That it was like an alternate universe thing. They were doing something weird. He's Crash Bandicoot, you know. He's someone in Voltron. That was a good show. 3rd and 8. Blitz coming from the Chargers. Nix rolls right. He's 20 yards deep. Just throw it. Oh, and a hard hit on Watson. 3rd and 8, not going there. 4th and 8, the Broncos are punting. For the Chiefs, it would have been called true. Let's see. Who else does he voice? He voices so many people. It's like hard to find one. He voices someone in How I Met Your Mother. And Yes Man was his most famous role, acting role. So this one's kicked off, and it's fielded at the 4. Good special teams work by the Broncos. Chargers starting their next drive, totally backed up. Up by 3. Justin Herbert tries to make it 10. So yeah, he's welcome to Jumanji. That's his name. Welcome to Jumanji. I keep hitting my bowl that used to have pasta in it. All right, we're going to make a poll unrelated to sports, but it's an interesting poll. I know, I really liked them. I love those movies. They were hilarious. They must be so expensive to make. I mean, with all of the talent. What did you say to me? I know, like they got everyone. They had everyone in there. Wait, I've misphrased my question. Which? There's only one right answer to this one, so it's terrifying for you, but all right, here we go. There you go. We'll see. There's only one right answer. There's only one right answer. I doubt any of you are going to get it, but there's only one right answer. There's only one right answer. Who voted what? Who voted what? We gotta know. I'll give you a hint. The correct answer is not spork. Last win when trailing by 11 points was in 2020 with Michigan against Rutgers. They trailed by 11 tonight. Yeah, I gotta agree with you, Pepper. Only way to eat rice with a spoon. I would like to see the sport get some attention also, but the correct answer is spoon, because when rice is a small meal, it falls through the cracks of the fork. It's actually a very valid argument. I've used it multiple times and succeeded. People are like, why? Why would you ever use a spoon? It's like, because with a fork, things slip through. You get more suction with a spoon, you can get more rice at the same time. Justin Herbert backed up into his own end zone. Under pressure, he throws in the end zone, incomplete. Dangerous throw from Herbert, 2nd and 10. Now, the correct answer is spoon. If you picked fork, change your vote. You're wrong. Rice, it's frustrating. It's like trying to eat soup with a fork. It's like, what do you expect me to do with this? I also don't understand ice cream with a fork. Like, that gets messy. Like, people do that. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. 2nd and 10, Herbert under pressure again. He'll throw quickly to Quentin Johnston, who's brought down after a gain of 5. They gave themselves some breathing room. 3rd and 5 from the 10. It's the only time I eat rice. It's with Mexican food or like chicken and rice. Get together. Now with cereal, different story. You what? What? You use forks for your cereal? Excuse me. I mean, yeah, I understand that one, but even then, I kind of like spoons better. I just like spoons. Like, I just feel like they're more efficient. Like, unless you're trying to cut something, you can use the fork to get like for a steak or something. Like, if it's just meat, you definitely use a fork. But if it's like rice, something with it, that's a first down to Will Dissly's first target of the day. Sorry, that's Hayden Hurst. That's a nice little gain of 8. First down, Los Angeles, keeping the drive alive. I'm not sure what you're talking about with cereal. That's a spoon. That's a spoon, not a fork. I'm just waiting for the person that says, I eat rice with a knife. Like, you didn't put it on there. But like with meat, makes sense, fork. But if there's like meat mixed up, like it's already pre-cut, like say you're at Chipotle or something, and like the chicken's already cut into the rice, then you got to use a spoon. Like, there's no reason not to use a spoon. You got the black beans, more efficient with the spoon. Got the rice, more efficient with the spoon. And then like it just outweighs it. Fork with ice cream only if I'm having cake too. Yes, I kind of agree with that. I can understand that when it's more proper to use a fork. I still enjoy spoons with cake anyway. I do it anyway, not when I'm with other people though, because of it's more polite to use a fork for some reason. Whatever. Yeah, spoon all the way. Cereal needs an even bigger spoon to scoop extra milk in every bite. I know my brother, what he does is he just eats however much milk as he can at first, and then he just like like if he has leftover without any cereal, he's just like, delicious. Or he pours it into a cup and drinks the rest that way. Herbert under pressure, it's blocked, swatted down fiercely. at the line of scrimmage, right in front of him. Seriously, Rice with a knife. Oh, man. 3rd and 9 coming up for the Chargers. Got to drink the leftover milk. Great job by Cooper. Cooper just swatting that down there. Like, that's what you got to do. You know he's going to throw it. He got the full hand on there. Honestly, if he had gripped that a little better, that was an interception. 3rd and 9. Smart in motion. The Broncos have a free rusher. Herbert's taken down. No one in sight. Someone just blew their block. And Sanders just runs through. It's Honey Cheerio. He has cinnamon. I love Cinnamon Toast Crunch. So bad for you, but I love Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Yeah. Honey Cheerio, yeah. My brother gets like this Honey Kellogg's thing. It's weird. I don't understand it, but it's not bad, but I just don't like honey cereal. These. And this one's going to go for a punt after the free rusher. And Marvin Mims will fair catch it at the 44-yard line. Broncos ideal field position. 6:41 to go here in the game. Chargers lead by 3. The Broncos hanging in there. I love Cinnamon Toast Crunch, but like it's so unhealthy. I can't. Like I had it for so long, and then I'm like, I love Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and then I looked at the ingredients. I'm like, wow. I'm like, wow, this is so banned in Europe. Chopsticks. Yeah. I mean, chopsticks are more effective with sticky rice, which personally I hate sticky rice. It's like I can't. Like I understand why people like sticky rice, but I don't like sticky rice. I don't like the texture. It ruins rice. Back when they made cinnamon pebbles. What? Yeah, all right. I used to like Fruit Loops. That was weird. You know, cereal just, your taste in cereal just evolves as you get older, I guess. It went from it started as like Rice Krispies to like Cheerios to Fruit Loops. Cinnamon Toast Crunch for a while. Then it was nothing. It was Rice Krispies for a bit, just because like Rice Krispies are just normal. Like you just have them. Like they're so easy. That's the only reason I like Rice Krispies, because like I used to just have Rice Krispies just because they were there and they were easy to put together in like a full bowl style. I don't like Fruity Pebbles. I feel like I might enjoy the cinnamon one, but I don't like Fruity Pebbles. Sticky rice, the normal rice, but moist. So I like sauce. Yeah. So sticky rice is it's sushi rice. So like the kind of ones that you wrap sushi with, that's the kind of rice, but like they just serve it normal, and I don't like it. I just don't like it. Just gonna end the poll. It's 50-50, but the correct answer was spoon, so it wasn't really a viewer's choice. Applejack. Oh, man. I do remember those. Okay, wow. SoFi is getting cloudy. I'm not sure if it's raining or what, but the cameras are either getting much lower in resolution or it's pouring rain. Someone's got to check the weather forecast. I think it's raining. I did like Apple Jacks for a while. Not for very long, but for a while there. Sounded so country of me. I'm like, for a while there. I'm not from the South. I'm only kind of from the South. From the south of Florida, which isn't really the South. 1st and 10. Bo Nix takes the snap. Play action under pressure. He'll be taken down. And the Chargers blitz him full on. And he drills Bo Nix. Uh-oh. That was not a smart move from Bo. Oh, no, Bo. Bud Dupree came off like a laser. He just whoop, one move, and then he was swallowed up by Dupree. Special K used to be good, but now it's like the guy. Yeah, I don't like Special K that much. I've always found the crunch off. Like, it doesn't taste like cereal. Like, I always think, I'm like, it doesn't taste like cereal. One mod is gonna have the live stream go. We talked about cereal for about an hour. Play and hand off to Audric Esteem again. 6 yards on that one. It'll be 3rd and long. 7, being generous. Florida. Yeah. Down there. Yeah, but only the north of Florida has that. The south of Florida, we don't sound like that at all. If we're from Central Florida, the accent kind of goes away, which is why I don't really have an accent. Because I spent most of my time in Central Florida, but in South Florida, you're not even speaking the same language. You're speaking Spanglish from South Florida. 3rd and 13. Bo Nix drops back to pass under pressure. He'll throw underneath. A stiff arm. He'll be taken down a few yards short, so the Broncos will be forced to punt. What are the chances they go for this year? Derwin James making the tackle. What are the chances they go? I would not be upset with the call to go for it here. Being bold, I mean, it's only 4th and 5. I would consider going if you're in Denver. They only got 5 minutes left. Chargers have been playing very well. It's worth considering. They're not. They're punting. Just ignore me. It's fair caught at the 10-yard line, so backed up again are the Chargers. 4:28 to go. Go to Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Bama, somewhere like that, and you can hardly understand unless you're from the area. I know it's not amazing in Georgia either. But in Georgia, it's like, oh, hello there, hon. How are you doing on this sunny, peachy evening? I mean, I know the customs. Like, you can tell when someone from the countryside wants to get rid of you and they like, well, just the slap of the knee and then the well, I think it's time for dinner. Then they want you to go away. Had that experience? Yeah, it's a cultural thing. It's just like that. Well, been nice having you. Yep, been real nice. All right, see ya. Yeah, see ya. And they just leave. That's just how the Southerners roll. You ever had that experience when there's someone from the country trying to get rid of you because you've overstayed your welcome? Well, it's just one word. Yeah. Bless your heart. I was just about to bring that up. Well, get out. Get. I've been that person. Just the well. Now my favorite one is the oh bless your heart. I've done that before. Under my breath. Bless your heart. That's all it means. It's just, well, you go on and bless your heart. What? It is terrifying because in Central Florida, when you want to get rid of someone, it's kind of got to say it in the nicest way possible because you don't know who you're dealing with. It's kind of like, because if you're in there and you're talking to, they're showing the crazy field goal nonsense that happened. But like if you're in Central Florida and you're talking to someone that's not necessarily going to want to leave, you got to, kind of take it more carefully because Hispanic people, they do not like leaving. We've established this very well in our culture. We just like hanging around. We just like chilling. I say we because I am part. I also like chilling. Herbert under center. Handoff, Gus Edwards. Edwards not going anywhere. Oh, bless your heart, buddy. You don't know the real thing. It's because you're City One. Just that country, the antagonization. Including postseason, the Chargers have lost their last 11 games decided by 3 points or fewer, tied for the third longest streak in NFL history to the Bills, 13 from 2001 to 2006. Yeah, we just don't want to leave. Just kind of chill. Just going to stay here. Like, you have to really make it clear you want them to go away, because if you say something like, well, we're going to go eat dinner now, they'll invite themselves. Justin Herbert, quick pass to Quentin Johnson, who drops it. And Quentin Johnson just drops the pass. 3rd and 10 coming up for the Chargers. Oh, that was a costly mistake there. The drops have not been Quentin Johnson's friend this year. No, but like if you say, well, I think it's time for dinner, then it is our duty as Spanish people to go, you know what? We would love to join you. Thanks for the invitation. Like we invite ourselves to stuff all the time. It's like, well, I think it's time for us to go see my daughter's school play. Oh, where is it? I'll meet you there. 3rd and 10. 3rd and 10 at their own 10. McConkey in motion. Drives upfield under pressure. Rolls to his right. He'll take it himself. He'll get the first down and more. 15 yards. And a first down. The Chargers will keep rolling. Herbert was popped at the end of that one. He'll get back up safely. 1st and 10, 3:35 to go here in the game. Chargers lead by 3. Broncos defense needs a stop here. He was under pressure and he just did it on his legs. Oh, we saw a couple of Broncos defenders just slip and fall there, tripped over each other, and that cost him. And I mean, he didn't give himself up. I'm like, if you don't want to get hit, you got to go out of bounds. Play clock at 2. He'll get the snap off, hand off to Gus Edwards, who runs up the gun for a first down and more over midfield to the 40, the 30, and he fumbled. The Broncos recovered it. Oh my goodness, was he down? Was he down? Oh no, that could have. Oh, this could either be disaster for either side. Was he down? He's down. All right. That's a Chargers first down at the 30-yard line. Whew, okay. Chargers almost. I thought that when I saw that punch coming in, I thought Sternard had it. Good job holding on until the bitter end. They're at the 30-yard line. Denver. Nice pushback of Gus Edwards makes him lose a few yards. South people invite you to stuff, but in the Midwest, people invite themselves. Yeah. I think like if you say here, like if you're in a Spaniard's home and they say, well, I think it's time for us to go eat dinner, they will say, we will make you dinner just to get you to stay longer. We're just that, like, we're that people. We're more than happy to just say, it's like, well, only if we like the people. If we don't like the people, get out of here. If we do like the people, then we'll be like, yeah, sure, come on, stick around for dinner. We made enough for everyone. And they're like, wait, you knew how did you make enough? Like, when were you cooking? This entire time? How? You know, when I went to the restroom 10 times, I was cooking. It's just such an us thing to do. It sounds exactly like what my family do. Like if we like we like the family like that we're with, and we'll be like, oh well, I think we should go get dinner. Hey, well, if you don't want to pay some extra money, we got a free dinner right here. 2nd and 13 for the Chargers after the loss of 3 on the Gus Edwards run. Pressure coming from Denver. They bring heavy pressure. It's a shovel, dangerous pass. There, it's a first down and more. He makes one man miss. Touchdown Chargers. Hassan Haskins. This one might just be over for the Broncos. Oh, man. That just made it a 9-point game. Denver is in some trouble here. And the Chargers have now, after this one, 21 unanswered points. That might have just sealed the game. 21 unanswered after this extra point. Denver, they just took their pedal off the gas for 2. They took their gas off the pedal. I don't know what I was saying. They took their foot off the gas, foot off the pedal. Extra point is barely good, but still in. 34-24. It's a 10-point Chargers lead with 2:27 to play. This is not looking good for Denver, as the Broncos fans are starting to leave the stadium. And they are certainly feeling the thunder and seeing the lightning as Hassan Haskins makes a few moves in open space and scores the touchdown for the Chargers. The former Harbaugh Academy alumni, Hassan Haskins. Justin Herbert having a great time as the Chargers, valiant effort, really. They've done a great job coming back in this one, down 24-13, 21 unanswered points. They've earned this one. They had to come back big time against the tough Broncos defense, who's just not held their own properly. They've just not done a great job as far as moving the ball effectively on offense, and then they just haven't been doing the work they've needed to do on defense to be able to stop this Chargers team. So 2:27 to go. The Broncos will start their first drive at the 30-yard line. So they're going to need a touchdown, likely an onside kick, because they only have 2 of their timeouts. We'll see if they can do it. It's going to take quite a bit. But we'll see if the Broncos can make a miraculous comeback here on the Thursday night lights of Los Angeles. First half, Bo Nix with 15 of 21 for 155 yards and 2 touchdowns. In the second half, he's 9 of 13 for 65 yards. He's still been fairly accurate. He's had a great game. But he just hasn't been throwing the ball enough. Bo Nix drops back to pass. Speaking of throwing the ball, he delivers a laser to Cortland Sutton, who gets out of bounds. Stopping the clock. That was beautiful. Just do that every single play. That's how you win this. That was a pretty play call. Just a nice little stop right in his tracks on the route. Beautifully designed, gets out of bounds. Nice. Audric Esteems had a good game for the Broncos. 48 yards and a touchdown on 9 rushes. Cortland Sutton's the leading receiver, 5 receptions for 50 yards. Marvin Mims is the leading receiver, but they give credit to Sutton for his multiple catches. 1st and 10. Nix to throw again. He'll dart one in to Mims. To Franklin. Seriously, 16 and 19 is not easy. Not particularly easy to tell who's who. Broncos are going to get it one more snap off before the 2-minute warning. They will. Nix looks deep. He steps up. He'll run it himself. He'll get the first down. He'll lateral it to Jamal Williams. How about that? Nice. There's a flag. That was Javonte Williams, but that was a nice little lateral there. I loved the lateral action in play. How about that? I don't know. But, it was a lateral, so it's legal. It's legal. He got a few extra yards. But we'll see what the flag's on. It might just be holding. But it was a lateral, so it's not illegal. We'll see what the flag's on here. Maybe one of the refs thought it was illegal, but that's most certainly not. It's an eligible man downfield. Holding. Or an eligible man down. He's signaling a lot of stuff. I'm not sure this ref knows what he's doing. He just signaled 3 penalties. Jim Harbaugh's trying to get everything in order. It was Bowles. Bowles was holding Khalil Mack. He was kind of holding. He wasn't really holding Khalil Mack. Only sort of. It was a legal lateral. It was all. It looked like a legal lateral. I'm not sure. Yeah, it looked legal to me. Okay. It is an illegal forward pass. That one's declined. Okay. And it's a holding. So there were 3 potential penalties on that one. Because he signaled 3 penalties. I'm like, what? And they called the holding on Bowles. So that'll back him up. All right. That was a complicated play there. So it was a forward pass. It looked like a lateral from the initial view, but that wasn't a lateral. So the 2-minute warning, the Broncos find themselves in a bit of danger, down by 10. The Broncos do have the ball, though. We'll see if they can make some magic happen here in Southern California. after the 2-minute warning. No, I'm no longer certain what he was thinking. That was not his smartest play. I thought it was a lateral, but I guess it was not. Huh, yeah. I'm just thinking of that last one. It looked like a lateral from the sideline view, but I might just be going blind. Spiny glasses. Preview of later's games is on Saturday, attempting to overshadow the college football playoffs. The Chiefs take on the Texans and the Steelers take on the Ravens. Will Lamar Jackson break his really tough streak against Pittsburgh? Very sad for him. I do feel bad. Because he's had a bit of issues against Pittsburgh. Mike Tomlin's a great coach. I mean, he just keeps winning. I don't know how, but he just keeps winning. It's ridiculous. Dolphins 49ers. That'll be an interesting one to see if both of these teams are actually in the playoffs. Both of these teams playing today, or will the Dolphins maybe surprise them a bit? I don't think they will. As a Dolphins fan, I don't think we deserve to make the playoffs. But you never know. The Rams and the Jets, as the Rams try and secure their hold on the NFC West. The Eagles and the Commanders. Can the Eagles win and claim the NFC East for themselves, or the Commanders make it look tight till the finish? The Giants and Falcons, Michael Penix taking the helm at Atlanta after Kirk Cousins is benching. Hey, you never know. Stuff happens. Huh. I don't know how I cut myself. Strange. The Cardinals and Panthers, as the Cardinals try and survive in the NFC West to see if they can actually pull it off. Bengals try and keep in their dim playoff hopes alive against Cleveland. The Titans and Colts, as the Colts also try to keep their playoff hopes alive with a win against the Titans. The Lions and the Bears. The Lions try and hold on to that number 1 seed from Philadelphia. We'll see if they can manage. Bo Nix takes the snap. Bo Nix drops back to pass, looks deep, pumps, hits the dirt at the feet of Williams. 3rd and 13. Got a good one as the Vikings take on the Seahawks. Geno Smith and Seattle needing a win if they're going to want to stick around with the Rams at the top of the NFC West. And the Vikings are trying to do the same with the same record as the Detroit Lions. That division is insane. Can I just say, it's crazy. Absolute ridiculousness of that division. Or even are the Packers. They're on Monday night. So the Patriots then take on the number 1 seed hopeful Buffalo Bills. The Jags take on the Raiders in a completely irrelevant trash game. Bo Nix drops back to pass again. He'll throw towards the left. It's the tight end. It's 4th down territory. They're not going to get the first down. It's Kroll on the catch. Lucas Kroll. They'll get to about the 4. They're going hurry up. I'll say Sunday night and Monday Night Football in a moment. 4th down. Broncos not wasting any other timeouts. 1.5 minutes to go for the game. Who called timeout? I believe the Chargers did. And they did, trying to get their defense set for this 4th down. Sunday Night Football, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the Dallas Cowboys. Can the Cowboys keep their dim playoff hopes alive against the NFC South hopeful victors, Tampa Bay Buccaneers? With a Broncos win, they've clinched their first playoff berth since 2015. 86% chance of making it with a loss. Chargers, 97% chance to make the playoffs. 74% chance with a loss. If they do win this one, they'll have a 97%, which is where it's heading. So it's likely the Chargers and the Broncos in the playoffs. The only way the Broncos don't is if they fall to both the Bengals and the Chiefs and the Dolphins win out. We don't need hope. And then Monday Night Football, the Saints with Spencer Rattler, sans Alvin Kamara take on the NFC North, still technically contender Green Bay Packers, as they at least want the 5 spot in the NFC, but who knows. Bo Nix over the middle, and it's a 1st down. Christian's kind of thankful Tom Grauser decided to read you that day. Watch it have so much fun. These streams. Thank you, man. Love you. See you next time. See you after Christmas. Have a good one. Remember to keep on giving. even when it's not Christmas. Bo Nix drops back to pass. Throw to Williams. He'll get 11 or 12 yards. A good play by Williams. Commentator for today's bet. Yeah, right. Have a wonderful Christmas. Wonderful Christmas, Pepper. Thank you so much. You're one of my. You're up there. Yeah. I don't want to like discriminate against any of my other by saying you're my favorite, but you're definitely up there, my friend. Thank you so much for being a part of this. It means a lot to me. Good luck to your Packers for the future. I'll be watching closely. Hopefully see you on the 28th, if not see you in the new year. I can't see. And this is a 55-yard field goal on 1st and 10. Wow. Okay. So the Broncos kicked a field goal on 1st and 10. That happened. 34-27. Denver. What? All right. Interesting decision there. I respect it, Sending Will Lutz on there on 1st and 10. And as soon as he's in field goal range, having him drill a field goal. Respect. Respect on that call. Interesting call. But you know what? Makes it a 7-point game. They're going for the onside kick. Well, let's say, all right, I got it. It was close, but I got it. Now the moment of truth. 57 seconds. The onside kick to determine the victor. 3 of 45 this year for kicking, recovered for the kicking team. That's 7%. They need to make these more impactful. It's not a great chance, but we'll see. After this, after the 57 seconds, I'm going to go ahead and hop off. So I'm just going to go ahead and say Merry Christmas. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully see you on the 28th. If you guys aren't there for the 28th, or a little bit after that, depending on if I do Sunday Night Football or not, then that'll be like the 30th, something like that. Then Happy New Year. Happy New Year, everyone. See you in 2025 if you don't manage to get to that one. Although I do wish you do. It would be the last one of the year. I mean, it's going to be a good one regardless, whether it's Rams or Cardinals or if it's Commanders and Falcons. Merry Christmas. Yeah. Happy Christmas over here in Europe. It's Happy Christmas. It's weird. Yeah, but Merry Christmas. 57 seconds. I'll be bidding you all farewell, and we will head on off to a Christmas time full of merry and jolly. Here comes the onside kick. Will Lutz. Don't know what happened. Jim Harbaugh iced the onside kick. Gives him another try to see if they can make something happen. But we'll see. So the second time out for the Chargers, 57 seconds to go. All right. Tui Pelotu. I haven't heard his name once. Tui Pelotu, my favorite player on the Chargers. Finally got to see him for the first time. Love Tui Pelotu. Will Lutz for the onside kick to potentially win the day for the Broncos or lose it and hand the victory to the Chargers. Gotta admit, I'm sad the Broncos didn't win. I was kind of rooting for Denver. You know, it seems wrong to trust the fact that the Chargers can lose to either the Patriots or the Raiders as a Dolphins fan. But ultimately, I don't think we're going to make the playoffs. Anyways, this game's kind of irrelevant. All right, here we go. Onside kick from Will Lutz. It goes 10 yards and a successful bounce and recovered by the Chargers. That'll do it, folks. Chargers 34, Broncos 27. All it takes is a couple of knees. And the Chargers will be walking away with this one as a victory. And I mean, Broncos played a great game. They did a wonderful job. It was actually a decent kick. It had a nice bounce at the end there. Kind of caught 31 by surprise. Neiman, he catches it with his helmet. So great job by him there. Safe bet. He almost had it, but the Chargers do recover it. 1st and 10, Herbert. I guess they do have to draw some time out a little. Not much. And that's one. I'm not even sure why the Broncos are bothering to call any timeouts. But, I mean, they do. I guess they might get one play. Maybe. Depends how much time. They're going to get like one play, nothing more. 52 seconds to go. We'll see. Maybe some pitchy woo-woo. You never know. Gotta love it. If there is some pitchy woo-woo, I'm here for it. It never works, but I'm here for it. 2nd and 15. Justin Herbert draws some timeout. Oh, he's still going there. And he'll take a knee. Timeout, Denver. So they will have a bit of time. So they'll have 40 seconds afterwards. Yeah, they'll have about 8 seconds. Fair catch, they might have 3. So Chargers path to the playoffs, win 2 of last 3 games. Denver, New England, and Las Vegas, or miss the playoffs. They lose all 3 remaining games. And Cincinnati, Indianapolis, or Miami win all 3 remaining games. So it's still possible that the Chargers miss the playoffs. It's not likely. Because that requires them to win. I mean, they still technically, they might miss it. You never know. They might. I doubt it. Heavy blitz coming from the Broncos. They can waste just enough time. I'm guessing the punt's going to do it. Punt's going to leave them with 3 seconds. Some punt pitchy woo-woo. I don't. Yeah. So Bo Nix won't see the light of day. It's Sean Payton. So the Broncos will have to lose out and have one of the 3 teams win out, or the Chargers will have to lose, but also lose out, and to be able to miss. And if both of them lose out, then things get wild. That's kind of crazy. Broncos and Chargers lose out. Boom. Dolphins and Colts in the playoffs. Let's go. So, what? Huh. They just kept the clock rolling. There's zeros on the 4th quarter clock. I'm not sure what's happening here. That they just kept the clock rolling. But there was the delay game. On the Chargers, 4 seconds. Broncos path to the playoffs, win or tie one of the remaining 3 games at the Chargers, Bengals, or Chiefs. Miss the playoffs if they lose all 3 remaining games, and Cincinnati or Miami win all 3. So it doesn't matter, even if Indianapolis wins all 3. So if Cincinnati and Miami win all 3 and the Chargers lose 2 of their last 3. Oh, and on 4th down, the Chargers just chuck up a Hail Mary to waste time. What a throw. And that'll end it. Zeros on the clock. Game over. 34-27. The Chargers defeat the Broncos to bolster their playoff hopes and their playoff seeding. Denver takes a bad loss. Thank you guys so much for watching. Tune in next week, week 17. It's either going to be Saturday night or Sunday night. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time here on the Exponential. Thank you guys so much for watching. Happy Christmas, Merry Christmas, whatever you want to call it. Have a good one. Keep spreading the love. Thank you. Bye-bye.